Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 52 Topics with
Francis Fiordolino.
Frank Dion.
Francis Fiordolini. Yes, his name is Francis.
Yes, his name is Francis. Frank, what's going on, man? Sorry we missed Monday night's live.
Yeah.
Frank was busy. I was busy. I was up in the Catskills for like 3 days. I went away for a little bit, but here we are. We promised to give you at least one live a week, usually Mondays, usually 98.6% Mondays, sometimes a Wednesday. What's going on? Matt, the great Matt is in the house. You had an accident, Matt. All right, let's talk about that in a little bit. Sorry to hear that, buddy. The great Roro, Dan Tundis, what's going on? Gaslight Studios, yo, what's up, buddy? Pizza the Wankster, what's going on? Juan, what's going on? Cheers to you, sir. Cheers to you. I don't have a beer. I have a Medaglia d'Oro. Medaglia d'Oro.
Coffee. What's up, Brian? What's going on?
Instant espresso. What's up, Brian? How are you? I tell you, Mazanga, what's going on? A semi rear-ended you. What the fuck, dude?
Oh,
your back hurts.
Sorry about that, bro. Sorry about that. Hope you're all right.
You're gonna have to call. What does he got to call?
The guy's out of Tampa. What the fuck's their name?
Morgan and Morgan. We'll get you hooked up with Morgan and Morgan, Chavis and Chaffetz, Oreski, Jacoby and Myers, whatever you want, buddy. We're gonna set you up. Jesus, dude, that's crazy. Chris, what's going on, man? Yeah, Roro. Yeah, we got lives. David Price, my man. What's
up, bro?
All right, so we got some good stuff today. We'll let some more people come into the chat. We got some funny stuff to talk about. It's going to get really funny later. I think you guys are going to like it. And what do we got? 35 people with some more people. Frank, how you been lately?
Good. I'm good. Just, work and all that other good stuff involved. Just busy. I kind of been slacking off our show a little bit due to work. I get busy in the summertime. And I took on some other kind of work too. So I'm going to be like real busy. But yeah, I'm here, man. I'm here. What happened? Yo, Brett, Frank.
That's what I said, David. I said Medaglia. I didn't say Medaglia. What are you trying to do to me? I said Medaglia d'Oro.
Yeah, it's coffee.
You son of a bitch. Trying to hit me with the G. Come on. What do you think this is? Rewind the tape. Doogie Rat. Yo, Brett, Frank, I'll catch us tomorrow. Work tomorrow. Got stabbed in the back by a so-called pal night. Oh, geez. Sorry to hear that. Everyone's getting hit from the back today. What's going on? Dougie, all right, man. Who else is here? Pete, Frank, do you have stories about people getting extorted and cannot handle it? All right, we'll get to questions. I'll star that question, so we'll get to the questions later. Mm-hmm. Anybody else? What's up, Mooch? Anybody else have any questions? I'll star them as we go. Starring means I save them, so I go to my little starred section here, and that's where all the questions are going to stay. Scott H in the house, my man.
I'm looking for people,
it's a rough week. It's a rough week. I was up in the Catskills for 3 days. That was nice in that area. My cousin's dad has a house out there, so we went there. Probably, I'm not much of a drinker, but I probably drank more than I drank in a very long time. Basically 3 days straight, just drinking bourbon, nonstop, waking up, having shots. Little party, a little celebration. My best man and my cousins and a couple of my friends, they set up a little trip, so we had a good time. That was fun. What else? Proletarian in the house. What's going on, man? 90 degrees and humid. Wow. Yeah, it sucks. That sucks.
Shout out to everybody in the Black Hand the Black Hand Forum.
Yeah, shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
I had to hop in and say hello. Appreciate all the love.
What's up, Dion? How are you, Dion?
Appreciate everybody. Timothy O'Reilly coming in with the €2 as always. Thank you, buddy. You're the man.
Timmy. What's up, buddy? What's up?
Appreciate you, buddy. All right, I'm gonna star that comment from you, Gaslight. All right, so let's get to some chat, man. You had a couple of things you wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, mob neighborhoods were one of them, and mob neighborhoods in Queens actually, and why Queens? It seems like most of these neighborhoods in Queens that turned mobbed up at one time were from other neighborhoods, so they like kind of like immigrated, if you will, if that's the right word, or just escaped the other neighborhoods. Like, I'll give you an example. When we talk about mob neighborhoods, and we talk about Queens, obviously the first one that comes up is Howard Beach. I don't know how it is today. When I was a kid, Howard Beach, Ozone Park, and not to take words away from Hootie, calling it the Mecca of the mob. You know, you had 4 mob bosses living there at one time. Very true. The Bergen, what was it? The Bergen Hunt Fish Club was there back in the day in Ozone Park.
Right.
So, growing up in the mid '80s to '90s, Queens was jumping in mob activity, even a little bit before that. Like in my neighborhood, and when I say my neighborhood, there's like 4 neighborhoods that came together. You had Ridgewood, you had Maspeth, you had Glendale, and you had Middle Village. And a lot of those people, except for Maspeth, maybe, came from Williamsburg. A lot of the people in Maspeth were from Williamsburg. And you had Philly Rostelli. He actually had 2 families in both places, one in Williamsburg and one in Maspeth. And then you have Joe Messino, who's originally from Maspeth, via Brooklyn from his family. And when I say Brooklyn, I'm thinking Williamsburg as well. A lot has to do with where you come from in Italy. Like, for example, a lot of people in Ridgewood, Glendale, Middle Village, I would say most of them, the majority were Sicilian, and they all came from Bushwick. You know, most, not all, but most of them came from the Bushwick area when the neighborhoods got bad, or just even when they were there in the 50s and 60s and their life started doing a little bit better, they moved there to get out. They probably didn't want to be congested. You know, all these houses next to each other.
Right.
And same like for Howard Beach and Ozone Park. Originally, they were from like East New York.
Yeah.
That happened there. But those were the neighborhoods. And each neighborhood had you know places in Italy they came from. So that's how that rolled.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at one point, I mean, as you said before, you have Messino, Amuso, and Gotti all living in the same neighborhood within probably blocks of each other, right? Howard Beach is not that big, right?
Joe Messino.
Yeah, Messino, Amuso, and Gotti, of course.
And then even after Musso, you had the bagel guy from the location.
Right, Dion, yeah, who was who was acting boss for a little bit there before he got sent away. I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, so those definitely Ozone Park. I mean, you have other areas too.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that, but I mean, like, Proletarian has a question over there. Malabon, and which is a pretty good question, I guess. Which part of Queens was the deadliest store in your time, if you could only name one? Outside the Italian American thing, I would have to say Jamaica or Hollis. One or both. It were very, very dangerous neighborhoods.
South Jamaica, yeah.
South Jamaica, yeah. But as far as like the Italian American thing going on, they weren't dangerous neighborhoods per se. You know, have all those people. Some people say, "Oh, it was safer when these guys were around." But if you didn't watch your shit, and you wanted to start a little bit of fucking problems and stuff, then even in our neighborhoods, I would say Woodhaven would probably be number one.
Woodhaven, really? Over like Ozone Park and everything?
Yeah, but they were all guys from coming back to Woodhaven. You know,
right? They're all like back and forth. Jamaica. Right. Yeah.
You had Ronnie One Arm. You had John. You know,
I mean, those neighborhoods are so close.
John A. Light. You had guys. You had Junior Hit fucking thugs. You had the Caniglia brothers. You know, these guys, they didn't ask questions. They came there and they just fucking hit you right in the fucking head, right with a fucking a nice fucking shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
what's up, RD357 in the house? What's going on, buddy? How are you? Good to see you, man. Corruption Connection. What's going on? Matteo Pantangeli. Pentangeli. Frank, you know any guys in Jackson Heights or Ditmars back in the day?
I knew people from Astoria, Ditmars, but even Jackson Heights, which I have up there, Jackson Heights back then was a mob stronghold. Sonny Franchese, I believe, came from Jackson Heights. He spent his earlier years there. And Astoria, the story I knew was a little bit different. The story I knew was John Gotti's Astoria. Not that he had John Gotti's people, but it was definitely a Gambino stronghold. And you had the Sicilian faction of the Gambinos involved on Steinway Street, and they were affiliated with anything John said. John Gotti. I hate calling him by his first name. I didn't know, but yeah, and that's where that was. If you go there, over the years, it became Croat. There's Serbians. It was always Greek. You had
it was always Greek. I mean, as far as I know, it was always Greek. I mean, that's how I identify it as. But like when you have Valensis, Spiridon Valensis, the Greek godfather, was over there. I don't know a whole lot about Greek mob, but definitely, yeah, a lot of Greeks in Astoria.
They had that one dice game was big as hell. They go gambling, and they had to kick up to their guys, the Gambino family. So there was a lot of them over there. Right. Trying to think.
And somehow Valensis was connected with the Lucchese's, though, too. I don't know how that connection started with P. Kyoto, and that became a whole thing.
Probably through that guy who had a club out there, the associate guy. What was his name back in the day? The Lucchese guy. I'm trying to think. The French Connection guy.
Vincent Papa.
There you go. That's probably that connection. Probably brewed from there.
Yeah, he had what's his name? Corruption would know. What was the social club? The Cults, the Story of Cults, or something like that. Was that the social club over there? Corruption. What's up, Matthew Wells? What's going on, buddy?
There you go, Michael. Beat out.
James Willing said he did time with Ace Aiello, or I know you don't like to call him Ace, but
Anthony, yeah, you did time with it. I have some great stories about what
Story of Cults. Yeah, Story of Cults. Story had an Italian social club.
Anyway, we could get that the Anthony Aiello.
Well, he said a couple of things about it. He says Ace is much respected. I have some great stories of him getting so much respect in the can. He was with Al from the Gambinos.
Look, Anthony's a tough kid. Any way you look at it, he was another guy like Paul that when his father went away, a lot of people just didn't fuck with him in the way they did when his father was around. So he had to do his own thing to have people freaking pay respect. It did not come easy to him. There was no nepotism there. It wasn't like, oh, you know who his father. It wasn't like that at all. After a while, it just got like, I am who I am. And he's probably hearing stories. His dad's a real stand-up guy. He's very sick, by the way, I heard. And I hope they let him out. He didn't kill nobody, his dad. So, but back to Anthony, he's a tough kid. He's a tough kid. Younger than me, but tough kid.
Guys, your questions, I'm starring them as we go. We're going to move on, and we're going to get to the Q&A. I see a bunch of questions. So Queens, Astoria. Yeah, you got Astoria. What else pops in your mind?
We talk about where they come from, these people, like obviously, but not the Sicilians that come to Bushwick are not from the whole entire Sicily. And the only reason that came up because I was going over that Luigi Rangiabelli freaking court stuff.
Right.
And I'm just going to say he was from Catania, which is the east part of the island, the northeast part of the island of Sicily. And not many Catanese mixed it up with Sicilians on Knickerbocker Avenue or even in the mob. Those were Northwestern Sicilians. And what I mean is Northwestern or even parts of the central north part of the island. So you got Palermo, you got Trapani, a little bit of Argento, but that's what you're going to see when it comes to organized crime from the beginning of time here in the United States from 1931 all the way to not present day, because shit, they're making anybody these days. And what I mean by anybody's, I'm talking blood wise, not balls wise, because I'm not like that's active shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's where we are. So that's what I want to get to. You know, in their neighborhoods are all different. Like I said, Ozone Park, Howard Beach, you got a lot of Napolitans, you know, you got a lot of Abruzzes, you got Barres, Corona.
Yeah.
Calabres. So there's a lot of Calabres in Corona by Spaghetti Park, and that's another mob neighborhood. Spaghetti Park, you had Tough Tony, who's a legend over there. And then, you know, they say he wasn't as active as people thought, but if you had talked to anybody over there, they had him as fucking, but he was a good man, they said so. God rest his soul. God rest his soul. To Tony.
They just named the street after him over there a few months ago.
They really did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a lot for the community, and I did hear everybody heard that. Everybody was aware of that.
Yeah.
So that's good. You know.
Yeah, they had a street naming ceremony and everything. Yeah.
Not everybody in this life was scumbag. That life anyway, because I know you want to hear that, people, but there was a lot of good people too. Just like that, not everybody in Sicily is a mobster. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of good people. And I could talk about the guys I really, really liked. I seldom talk about the guys I didn't.
Yeah. Well, where I grew up, I think is mostly Sicilian.
That would be Whit Stone. Yes, that would be also correct. Some of the first people that in that life that ended up going to Whit Stone, opening up clubs or whatnot, were Patsy Conti people, and they opened up a couple social clubs there, or one. The one that when I was out there, was one, a couple. But I hear there's more and more of a mob presence today in Whit Stone. If anybody has questions, please ask them.
Yeah, I'm starring a bunch of them. We'll get to them. Yeah. I mean, you say presence. What do you mean? Like, because you wouldn't see it, for example. Like, it's not like you go around Whit Stone and there's like social clubs.
Well, I hear that's not allowed as much these days either. People tell people to tone their freaking attitudes down, you know, because they don't like that flamboyant shit.
I mean, soccer club, whatever. I know of one. What goes on there? What the hell do I know? I don't know. But as far as the populace, them living here, yeah, very much so. A lot of them. I could throw a fucking rock out my window and hit one.
Shit. I mean, I remember when we were kids, my brother used to take us to Whit Stone Pool. And
Whit Stone Pool, really?
Yeah.
Oh, the pool or a pool hall?
The pool.
The pool. Okay.
It was a pool, Whit Stone Pool, and that was out of the way. And that was the whitest freaking place in the whole of New York City. You didn't get freaking. There was no Italian. There was nothing. I mean, it was very, very, very Irish and German and Americans, and you know, so it was different when I went there, like in 2000 or 99. And it was different. It was different. Not that much, but it was different. People like right next door, you got Melba. Melba's a beautiful area.
Melba, yeah. Which we consider Whit Stone, but it's called Melba. Yeah.
And who lives in Melba? If there is wise guys who live in Melba, that's because they want to get away from freaking where they come from and not have their kids there. You know. That's how Howard Beach was until fucking the Gotti kids infested that area.
Yeah, they live in Malba or anywhere, any of the neighborhoods that kind of surround the water, which is like the bay. It's actually the East River. All of these houses over here. Yeah, there's definitely quite a few of them, to be honest. And but yeah, it's never been. Maybe back in the day, you said you went to like a coffee shop or something back in the day that was here. But
I did.
As I know, growing up here and growing up in this area, it's never been. I mean, like I said, you had like soccer clubs or whatever, or this and that. But yeah, but what do I know? Who knows if there's a door somewhere that I don't know what's going on everywhere.
Well, no, I mean, just because there's soccer, you see, because they bust a soccer club one time and it's Italian and they have mob influences. The next thing you know, mob associations. The next thing you know, every soccer club has one, and that's not the truth. Right. And there's a lot of these clubs that represent their town or Italian Americans. And believe me, I see them on the internet sometimes or on YouTube. And I like in my own neighborhood, I know a lot of these people. They're legit people. They're good people. You know, it's just that you're guilty sometimes by association in what neighborhood you live in and what it is, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah. You say Patsy Conti. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's been a fair share of key foods in the North Queens area for sure.
Yeah. Of
A
course.
lot over the years, a shit ton.
Of course.
There still is one to be,
There was a relative of his that had an Italian where you get Italian food. I don't know if it's if it was an Italian import or more of an Italian type of deli or mini supermarket. That's what it was.
Okay.
And I think it was called Strawberry something.
Strawberry Farms.
Oh, that was it. Yeah. And that was.
I know exactly what. Yeah, Strawberry Farms. Yeah, I grew up going to Strawberry Farms. Strawberry Farms is good because they had like the best bread section in the area. Like everything was like whatever, but then they had this great aisle of all fresh Italian breads and everything. And in the back, they had like a little Italian counter or whatever. And then, you had little Italian candies or whatever. But other than that, it was like a fruit store. Yeah.
Yeah. And a certain cousin of his.
Is that right? Wow, I didn't know that.
I don't want to mention who it is.
No,
I don't know if
had
he's
no
still
idea.
alive, but yeah. So that what presence was there. I don't want to give the business a black eye.
Yeah, Strawberry Farms. No, it's not there anymore. It's called something else now. It's not even there anymore. There's still a market there, but I think it's something else.
Yeah.
But Strawberry Farms. Wow, I used to do laundry as a kid right next door to there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's on 150th, I think.
Is it still there?
No. It's like a market right now.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
What do we got? Any questions? And we go.
Let's go through some questions and we'll get to some other stuff. Pizza the Wankster. Frank, do you have any stories about people getting extorted and could not handle it anymore and took action?
And took action as far as
against,
yeah, of course.
Against the person.
I have two shootings, one that ended up in a killing. Stories about that, which I'm going to discuss one day. But we'll go with the Carmine Polito guy. How you say? When this was, I don't know if it was when Cookie he was extorting them.
You're talking about people who live in my neighborhood now. And I'm only saying that because it was in the news. He was in the news recently. They outed him.
Right, no, let's not talk about it. I mean,
no, I don't care. Go ahead. I don't.
It wasn't like that. It was like allegedly he won in trial. He beat the case. Allegedly, he was being him and the guy who owned the Fortunatos, Mario, were being extorted by Tino, really? and who's Cookie's cousin. They went to a card game. They set them up. They shot them both. They and I'm gonna give you the fast version. And because they were taking him for a lot of money, and Cookie lived, and the rest, we could talk about for some other show because it comes up again in one of my episodes, and that was it. And Cookie's Michael Durso. He ends up going to his people saying, "Hey, look, man. I'm putting money on a fucking street for you guys." And these guys, they ended up retaliating because I had too much of a stronghold on them. They set me up. They killed my cousin. And he felt that nobody wanted to help him. But there was, other stories came out after why nobody wanted to help him. And I don't know if they were accurate, but they were coming from good sources. I'll tell you that. And they say because he thought he was dying, he was on the ambulance. So while he was in the ambulance, he stuck his finger that's coming from him through the bullet hole to not bleed out, and he kept it like that. And apparently, again, allegedly, the word on the street is, I don't know if it's true, that he told the ambulance people who had shot him, which in that life is automatic rat move. You know, you're supposed to take it and take it to the grave. You know, you get shot, you get killed, and that's why the Genovese family apparently did not help him. So that was my extortion story.
Funny you mentioned that. We mentioned Valens before. Actually, similar situation when Sorecho Nalo, Sammy the Arab, he gets killed in Astoria in I think 88 or 89. For anyone that doesn't know Sammy the Arab, prolific hotel heister, robbed the Pierre Hotel, robbed numerous hotels, stuck a gun in Sophia Loren's face, robbing her penthouse once. Prolific criminal, killed by the Lucchese family inside Spiridon Valens's office in Astoria. And
Wow.
as he's dying, he picks up the phone and says, Spiridon Valens did this to me. He's calling the fucking ambulance.
That's a scumbag move.
Yeah.
You know, even today,
that case is really funny. Spiridon went down for it. It's a little dicey, you know, but yeah, that's what he did. Yeah. Sister, let me ask this question. The name of the song is "Not the Man I Used to Be" by Fine Young Cannibals.
I like the keyboards. I like the keyboard. Yeah, it's not about redemption. I know the song talks about not being the same person that a person was, but I don't know. It came out in the 80s, late 80s. I don't know. It fit the time. It fit everything. The words came in, and I said, "Fuck it, let's go with this."
Yeah, pizza. I did. I had a whole thing. It's not on my channel right now. I gotta fix it a little bit. There's some information I need to get on it. But yeah, I did. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, Gaslight Studios. What did the American guys like Messino think of Sicilian Faction in retrospect?
They felt threatened. Messino felt threatened by the original ones, the ones that went away, the ones that disappeared, the ones that got killed, the ones that weren't around no more. The Canadian faction. He felt he felt that one day they'll take their family back. So he started doing what he did, eliminating, divide and conquering. But the ones that were left, and I told these people so many times, but they just insist over and over and over that the Sicilian faction is still alive. I tell them, no. Sons of Sicilians are still around. They're American. They have no intentions. They do what they're told to do. That threat doesn't even exist. And the ones that are born on the other side, take it from me. It's dog and pony show. I'll leave it at that. These guys, I mean, I was looking at like a chart the other day, and I mean, it was like, okay, whatever.
Oh yeah,
it's your thing now. Are there tough guys out there? Yeah, for sure. Not the Sicilians. And I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say this as far as the ones that are born on the other side, the ones that took over for their fathers and shit. They got too much money to even worry about that, and most of them weren't built that way anyway. So I didn't want to go that route, but that's what you got out there.
N says, "Hi guys, Frank, was your Uncle John involved in the Banana War of the 1960s?"
Yes, he was definitely involved in the Banana Wars.
Matteo Pantangeli says, "Thank you, Frank. My father's family was there in Jackson Heights and Ditmars area back in the 50s and 60s, and we're from Messina." Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Frank, what's the name of the documentary you were in talking about Carmine Galante? Can't seem to find it. That's from Matthew Wells.
Oh, that's Heron Don on Narco Wars season 2, episode 1. Narco Wars.
Yeah, it might be behind like a paywall on one of them streaming apps, Matt.
You know who goes to fuck that fucking thing up? I'm watching it again. Fucking Frank DiMatteo fucking guy.
Oh, he was in it, yeah.
Why?
The guy from he's on the periphery of the gallows. I mean, I don't understand. Was he or
I don't know. Yeah, maybe with the Palumbo with the
gallows. Well, yeah, the Columbus, with the gallows though.
That fucking documentary has him allows him to write a fucking a book about Carmine Galante. So, Anybody
that's
can
right.
write a book these days. It's crazy.
That's right. That's right. He did. He's written a bunch of books. Yeah, Malamore Proletarian. What's up, man? Any notable differences between mafiosi from different parts of Sicily? Any good stereotypes that are somewhat true?
Yeah, the Palermo guy back home, he's more flamboyant. It's kind of like the American up to his sense, not too much. The ones from the cities, they're sharp. They're sharp. They're more city slickers compared to the ones like in where I come from, are more like country folk. You know what I mean? Did I say country folk?
Yeah.
Yeah. The most fucking city slicking type of gangster I ever seen come out of my town. Now there's a few, but back when I was probably was the generation that Carmine Galante had around them. They were similar to the way you envision the Palermitans. They're good dressers, they're good talkers, they're slick. They're kind of like the Baldo and Caesar were.
Right. I want to say thank you to my man Matt in the chat. Matt sent us a $50 Cash App. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, my man. Thank you.
For the Cash Apps, I always put thank you in the chat. Thank you so much, my man. Appreciate you, my
Matt,
brother.
you do a lot for the show, and I appreciate it. I just want you guys to know that whatever I get, well, this man's getting married over there, so he's got a lot of things to do. But whatever I get goes to the show. The more I can make. The next background is going to be a Sicilian one, so I can't wait for that to come in, and I'm going to make you guys. All you 52 Topic Nation, I'm going to make you guys proud of our show. The ones with me from the beginning and even now, we're going to make this a good show.
Yep. And soon I'm going to redo my little I have an extra room, like an office room. Sometimes you guys see me streaming in there. That's like an extra room that I have. I just have art in there or whatever, but I'm going to make that into like a studio type thing. That's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, we're going to keep going. Matteo Penangeli, how about Messina? I got some family from Barcelona, Pozo di Gatto.
Okay. So I don't want to take this out of context, but if you look at, there's mob in all of Sicily, the southern part, the eastern part, the western part. My thing was, even they got one in Gela, Gela, which is they started their own little thing called Stida, which means it's Sicilian for the star. They even have their own little thing or big thing. But what my thing is, the mob that we know today, the mob that evolved from the beginning in the United States, from New York, that's there today, all started in those areas of the northwest part of Sicily. That was my point. It wasn't that Catanese are less gangsters than Trabanese or more. It's those are provinces. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, here in the United States, in New York, that's what you got. Or had. I don't know no more.
Tatone says, Frank, did you ever have any dealings with a police captain, Nick Ascenzo?
On the street, I had no police. Tato, what's up, Tatone? No, on the street, I had no fucking communication with cops.
Timothy, Frank, do you ever get the chance to speak to Italian? Do you ever get a chance to speak Sicilian in your new life? Like, you ever run into anybody that's Sicilian or?
Very rarely. And when I was living near the bases in the Navy bases back in the East Coast, I would run into a couple of people from NATO. I would run into a couple of people they were Italian. A couple of people that met a girl back in Catania. I think it's Sigonella, the base. And then they would come and they would talk Sicilian, and I'd be like, what the fuck? Should I say something or just shut the fuck up, But eventually, if I got to know them, I would talk to them, and it was kind of refreshing. And Seattle one time, I was on a bus, and this couple were talking Sicilian. They were visiting and they were just going out at each other. When couples are fucking old?
Yeah.
And I used to like to take the bus from downtown home because it's scenic, especially when I got there. So I'm taking the bus, and the bus in Seattle, it's an experience. They have Wi-Fi. You can eat it off the floor. It's really clean. I don't know about now, but I haven't been on a bus in Seattle in a while. But they were just fucking going off on each other. I'm sitting back like this. I said, holy, but it was so fucking refreshing to hear it,
Yeah.
that it kind of felt good, but it was entertaining at the same time. But I just shut the fuck up and listened.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to help myself.
No, I'm just saying you never know who's sitting next to you. You know what I mean?
Spartan Creed. Frank, did you ever go to the roller rink in Jackson Heights and Roosevelt Avenue?
No. No,
I know.
I grew up across the street from the roller rink. Shout out to the Oasis Roller World, and a lot of these people know where that was that listen here. But the Gusta. What did the Gusta say?
D'Augusta?
Yeah.
Oh, Frank, that story you told about willingly going into the station and giving a statement. How come no one thought that was ratting?
I don't know. That's a good question, I guess. But nobody got locked up. Nothing happened, and I hit the lamb. And the minute they let me out the fucking thing, they didn't see me for a year, and they arrested me on that case 10 years later. So I don't know, my pedigree, maybe the way I acted, the way I was on the street. I was a little bit of a pompous prick, That was the reason I ended up going to the station, because I thought I was smarter than them. I mean, I really didn't have a reputation of being a hard ass or anything like that. So I came there with the aspirations. Hey, how you doing, guys? How's everything? You know what I mean?
Yeah. The rink in Haas, I spent a lot of times at the Oasis. I would go to Iceland, which is down on Hillside, but where is that, Chris? Where is that? New Hyde Park? Where was it considered? I think it might even still be there.
I spent a lot of time at the Oasis. Chris, yeah, I did too. Chris, the Oasis was fun. It was fun.
Dutchman has an interesting comment. Great show, guys. Frank, did you know the Antonucci brothers that put a false wire on Joe O'Kane?
No, on what? Hold on. Yeah, 1 second. Matt just told me to do something. How would I do, Matt? I'm going to fuck this up, though. Watch. You should click in the browser, not in the chat.
And then hold Control key and then press plus, and you can zoom in to see better. That's true. If you hit Control plus, your screen gets bigger. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll figure that out because then
he'll do it. He'll do it off hours, Matt, because you never know what's going to happen now.
True.
He'll kick himself out. He'll end up on a plane somewhere. You won't fucking see him for 2 weeks.
Some special needs when it comes to that shit. Yeah.
Malamore Proletarian Frank, you ever meet any Sardinian criminals? Very interesting underworld there. Not mafia, but there is a structure, kind of like organized banditry.
Yeah, it seems to be like an Italian thing. Everywhere all over Italy, there's some kind of
that's an island, right?
Yeah, that's an island right next to Corsica. Cagliari is their capital. Cagliari. But no, I never met a Sardinian. I never met a Sardinian in my life, but they talk. Them and the Barres have a dialect that is very difficult to understand. I remember an Italian teacher telling me one time that the Sardinian dialect, these people, when they learn how to speak the Italian that's spoken Tuscan that we all relate to, they speak it better than any kind of fucking Italian out there.
Interesting.
Yeah. Croats too. I feel like Croats speak because they're right on the border.
Is that an okay? I always thought that sounded like, I'm not saying it is, but it sounds so derogatory. If it's like
Croats,
Croat. I know that's what they say. It just sounds like a I don't know. To me, it sounds weird.
No,
like when you call a Polish person a Polak or something. To me, that sounds the same way. I guess it's not. I guess it's not offensive. It just sounds like it to me. Not that
I grew up with Croats and Serbs and Trieste. That's where Croatia is nearby. Trieste, and they speak very well Italian. My friend's parents that I grew up with, my friend Matt, when I was a kid, spoke very, very good Italian, and I was like, how the hell they speak better Italian than my parents do? My parents spoke Sicilian, and my father was rough as hell.
The ancient fishing method for blue. Yeah, you were telling me the Madanza, right? They fucking stabbed the shit out of it.
Yeah, Madanza is the tuna fishing.
Yeah.
The tuna fishing is on Madanza.
Where they get it on the thing and they all start spearing it to death.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. And what they do, they put a 300 foot net. So when the season comes, they come in schools. You imagine hundreds of these big fucking fishes that coming over there, and they're coming and they're swimming, and they put them nets and they all trap them, and they just start spearing them to, and before they're bringing them up, and the whole water turns red. So that's what that. So I was in that documentary, the third season of the National Geographic one, and they talk of, it was synonymous. It was synonymous with the carnage that was going on with that second war, that Sicilian mob war that was going on in Sicily, and a lot of papers were calling it the Madanza because it was like a bloodbath. So the director goes, the Madanza, that was related. That's what the war was called. I said, no, it's synonymous with they were playing that word play. They were telling you that Sicily is turning like the tuna fish, the water, the tuna when they start. It's a bloodbath out here. Yeah. That's where that came from.
Look at this question from Gaslight. I think this is probably, if you missed the episode, you got to watch it, Gaslight. I think this is probably the most emotional episode that we did. Look at this question. Answer this one.
Yeah, we did one. You could get that on my the recording that we did. That was my brother.
That was Frank's older brother, Vincenzo Gaslight. Check out the episode on. It's in the title, The Pizza Wars, Vincenzo Fiordolino and Francesco Navarra. We did a whole episode on that. That was a good one. Michael B, thank you. 65 SC. That's
SEKs. Thank you, Michael.
Stockholm.
We're rich.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Michael B.
What's an SEK? I don't care. It could be $1. I don't care.
Sweden. It's some Sweden. Best regards from Stockholm, he says. Yeah. Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate it.
My uncle used to travel from country to country, and he was just a fucking, looking to make a score everywhere. He said when he went to Brazil, he was scoring left and right, and he had a whole bag of money. When he got to England, it turned into this much. It was nothing,
Yeah. It is a good question. The arena, you spoke about that, but I'm going to do this. D'Augusta said, we're going to have some fun. All right, let's have some fun. D'Augusta said, want to laugh? Look at Gunner's post picture from 45 minutes ago. Okay, we'll do that.
We must. We must.
This is a question from Dutchman. He's talking about the arena in Ridgewood.
Well, we were the younger guys. And when I mean younger, we were like freshmen in high school or and me and Paul, that's Paul Ragusa, we used to go there, but we had to be home like at 12. But we go in. It had to be 18 to drink at the time. Maybe 14 we were. And I had a real baby face. There was this guy, Gene. He was the bouncer there at the arena. I'm telling you, he was the biggest fucking guy. He had muscles where muscles don't happen. And they're looking at him. They go, hey, look, Gene, this looks like mini you, So I'm like this. I'm like, they're not going to let us sit. Goes, hey, how old are you? And they're cracking up. I go, all right, 17. They go, wrong. 18. They go, okay, go ahead, go. And if they ask you 18, they go ahead, go ahead. And that was the arena. Oh, man.
Yeah, Gaslight. If you look at the Pennsylvania, the Crime Commission, the report with the cheese industry and everything, which is easily available online, they make mention of Frank's brother as well in that, if you want to look at that. I'm sure you have. I mean, I'd be surprised if you haven't. So D'Augusta, he wants to have some fun. All right, fine. And then we're going to have some more fun. I got some good stuff for you guys.
Let's shout out. Let's see what's
shout out to Mob Facts. He hit me up with some good shit. All right, but D'Augusta wants to look at what the fuck is this? What are we doing? Okay, so
what the fuck is that?
This is Gunnar Allen Lindblom showing off his legs. I don't know why are we doing this? I don't know. Even at 52, I never skip leg day. Legs are the foundation. When you let them go, it's over for everything else. Don't let it happen. 52? Hashtag leg day. Hashtag fitness. All right. Well, this is Gunnar.
Thanks a lot,
that's
Augusta.
that's a lot. That's good. That's good. It seems like this is a common theme on this channel. I get more leg day.
Was that the gay father they set up there?
Man, this is great. This is great. All right, let's get one more. Buzz Lightyear. You know, one of my favorite for the Mob Tube,
So
Gunnar Allen Lindblom. So for the Mob Tube old school people, there used to be an account called Gunnar Anal Lindblom. I used to think that was pretty funny. Then he fell off, and nobody wanted to make fun of him anymore. But,
yeah. No. Jay Tro says something pretty good. Oh, go ahead. Frank Apology.
Frank Positive asks, "What would you guys ever do a breakdown of the Ozone Park Boys, Young Guns, Liberty Posse?" That'd be an interesting episode.
I'll get into that, which I'll get into. That was, Dave was always a little crazy, Dave. And where Kevin was, there was a time when me and my friends, after the first group got arrested, we just started calming down. And not because there was so much dirt on us. We thought they probably just forgot about us, but that wasn't the case. They just were working one at a time, And David was running around with these guys, the Young Guns and all, doing crazy, just doing what Dave does. But most of us were like, what the hell's going on? Yeah, I like Dave too. He was a funny bastard, but
how about Wiggles?
That was going on in between, like probably 2007, 1996, 1997, and 2000.
I think this is a joke. Moby Dominic. I guess. Moby Dick. I don't know. I guess that's Wiggles. You ever go to Wiggles? Vinny Ocean spot.
Wiggles, yeah, of course. Yeah. I went to Wiggles. I never liked the place. It was something about where girls were fully naked in a fucking club that just took my imagination out the game. Where, the girl could be like topless, and I'd end up staying there a couple hours thinking, But yeah, no. Once your fucking clothes come on, then I don't want to gross anybody out. But then you start fucking think you're smelling shit in the place. So I never, and that place gave me that feeling.
Did those girls skip leg day, or they were hitting leg day? What do you think? They were good.
Man, what the fuck was that? I could have went without that. 132 in the chat.
You missed leg day. It's all over for you. Bro. It's all over for you. All right. Back in the 80s, I would go to the Lemon Tree in Forest Hills. He says there was a bouncer there who I believe Gusso shot. Do you know that situation?
I don't. I mean, I can only fucking. I don't know why I'm laughing, but
Alex Tarantino. This may be the first time being asked, maybe not. But Frank, who would you say got the most ass in the mob? Was there a certain crew that got a lot of play?
A lot of guys are better than me, but that's for sure. Kids I grew up with, Paul always had pretty nice girls. The kid Fabio had a lot of nice girls too. I would say probably him. He did well with the girls. A lot of them did.
As I recall, Gunnar claimed to have knowledge of, or he definitely didn't have a hand in it. Knowledge of the killing of Hoffman. Yeah, I don't know about all that.
You know what they're good with? My ex buddy, he did good with the girls too. My friend Nat, very good with the girls.
Malamore Proletarian, will you guys be getting a sponsorship with EG Vodka? No, we're going to be sponsored by VG Vodka, if you haven't heard.
Leave that alone. My God, what the fuck? We can't fucking get out of there.
If you haven't heard, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck?
Better than Eileen's Frank, Paraplegic Gentlemen's Club. Is that true?
Paraplegic strip club. It's crawling with pussy.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Armand, what's going on, my man? Mustache goatee in the house.
Well, you like that joke?
I do.
All right.
Gunnar looked like he was going to have a heart attack hitting the heavy bag. He should worry about that liver belly he has. He looks 9 months pregnant. Yeah, he's got that Palumbo belly. He got a little case of the Palumboism. If you guys know what that is, I don't know.
Now, the gosh, it was funny. I'm not saying it was funny. It was very funny, disgustingly funny.
One of those Queens crews was active down in South Florida in the mid to late 90s. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, there
That
was a there was
that was them. There was a half of
yeah, that
those.
was them.
Yeah, it was.
They killed all right, so what? Was there how many murders? There was the murder of that guy, that Gus
It was like
Boulis
4 or
guy.
5.
There was that Gus Boulis guy that they tried to get Bud Sicaro to kill first. But then he didn't. Was that had to do with Muscatello or so? I have no idea. I don't remember exactly.
Sister said, "Do you get my cash app?" Probably, sister. Let me look. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that.
And then Bud Sicaro said, "I don't kill for money."
Yeah, everybody don't kill for money.
I don't kill for money.
That was a relative of my favorite saying.
I kill for the family. Anthony Agrillo. Oh my God, Bob. Oh my God. Thank you. Oh my God. Yeah, I remember those Bobby Fingers. I remember those.
Oh wow! Yes, we did.
Oh my God, Bo.
Oh my God!
Thank you, sister. Thank you, sister. Never knew how much I missed you.
Oh, sister. Thank you so much, and Matthew. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Now, yeah, we just.
Thank you, sister.
I get. I'm grateful. I'm very grateful that you guys like the show, and I'm putting it back in the show for you guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Frankie and Johnny's, Costa Grimaldi, Smitty's, The Rail, Butterfingers, The Clubhouse, Dolly Bar, Cross Bay Saloon, Malone's, and others. I'm from Old Howard Beach, OHB, I guess what that means. Bartended in these joints a lot. Were family places. Wow.
Were family places? Okay. I seen about the other one, the White Horse.
Dutchman, I watched your interview. I watched your interview with the piano player who played at Henry Hill's club. Jimmy Burke gave him a beating for not singing Happy Birthday. Talk about, yes, this is very true. Al Caponera, the great Al Caponera. Yeah. I met him down in Florida. We did the interview. Very interesting individual. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of fucking up with a civilian or a person like that. What the fuck you gonna fuck up a piano player or you know?
Yeah,
or anybody.
He's a legend. Al Caponero was a legend back then, but then he became a legend in the Florida scene, music scene. And he made the papers back then. They threw him in jail for perjury. They were doing an investigation into the mob and the clubs. They were looking at the Jimmy Burke and these guys, and they were looking at the Genovese. And they were doing investigations on a lot of these clubs that Al was actually working at.
Wow.
So he makes the paper. He gets beat up on July. I think Jimmy Burke's birthday is July 5th. So he's playing the club on Queens Boulevard July 4th into July 5th. Jimmy comes in. Al, play me a happy birthday, whatever. He says, hey, Jimmy, we're closing up. Pop! Beats the fucking shit out of him. Then the situation gets rattled out by this guy, Conrad Greaves, whatever. They pick him up.
Yeah.
And they actually throw him in jail for like fucking 90 days for not cooperating with them. Becomes a whole big fucking thing. Yeah, they put him away for getting beat.
The old NYPD. Aren't they fucking great?
They put his ass away. What was the best one-on-one fight you ever saw?
Oof. I don't know. There was a couple that come into mind. There was a kid, right? He fucking over. I liked him, but he always used to start problems. My friends used to chase him at every fucking club. Him and his cousin used to get into it with a lot of guys from the neighborhood. They used to go to clubs, either fuck with somebody's girl and everything. And they was always into fights.
Yeah.
But this kid, his name was Frank Saletti. I think somebody told me, I don't talk to me. He's a maitre d' at Parkside now. Oh. He fought this kid Roman, and they fought for about a good 30 minutes on his street, and we're watching. Jesus. And they were just fucking giving it to each other. And the kid Roman, who became a correction officer at MDC, were giving each other for fucking a good time. We were kids. I mean, it looked like a Rocky movie, bro.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, they shaked it out, they hugged it out, whatever. But it was a good one. It was a good one. So shout out to both those guys if they ever listen. And that was a good fight.
Al Nero buddies with Johnny Seibert. That is very true. That's very true. Good buddies. He didn't want to talk about it though. Yeah, that's very true though. Yeah.
Lefty, what's up, buddy? What's going on? I haven't seen Lefty in a while.
Conrad did get clipped. That's another video I did on my channel. If you guys want to see it, I went to the old location of the El Capitan Hotel by LaGuardia Airport where they killed Conrad Greaves. Talk about the story. If you guys can check that out on NYC Crime Spot. Let's see what else is going on. What's up, Lefty? How you doing? How you doing? Were the Sicilians involved in construction? No, they weren't, Bo. That wouldn't let them in, Bo. You think I would let them in?
Bricklayers, a lot of bricklayers. A lot of Sicilian bricklayers, construction, cement work. A lot of Calabres off the boat. They're into that too. They got a lot of their, they go in business on their own. Of course, after a while, the rabbi knocks on their door, tells them, "Hey, if you ever get in trouble, this, that, and the third, and I got some jobs for you." But mostly that, and on a union level, it's usually their kids, the ones who don't want to work with their fucking fathers because the demand is too high. They try to keep up with that old school way of thinking. Kids like, fuck that. I want to go punch a card and whack off for 4 hours.
All right. So you want to get to the funny stuff? What I was talking to you about earlier, or you got something else?
Yeah, I got to the funny stuff, and then I got other stuff too. Let's get to the funny stuff. Go ahead. You have the
funny stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Take it away.
So I got hit up. Oh, that's funny too, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to touch that one, Matt. But that's funny. That's funny too.
Mad Dog Joe.
That's funny too.
Yeah. Matt, you know what? Since you're a great donor, you can get away with that, and I will entertain it because you are a fan of this show in more ways than one. So, Mad Dog showed up, and you want to get into that?
Yeah. So, and before I proceed, we like Joe here.
We like Joe.
Joe's been good. I know you spoke to him on the phone recently. I guess somebody might have
told
him.
We like Joe.
I don't know if he was listening here or somebody told him that we had mentioned him in the chat. We were like, where the hell is this guy?
But then I spoke to him after. I'm busy, though. It's not that I want to talk to Joe. It's just that.
Right. I guess there has been some funny stuff. I mean, he showed up on FBS's under the name Bruno. And everyone was like, wait a second. Like, there's only one guy that in the world that looks and sounds like this. Obviously, this guy's name is not Bruno. Long story short, fast forward, he's got a beef with pizza, I guess, and he shows up to meet Pizza in Manhattan, and they make up, I guess.
He wanted to eat some pizza.
I guess they made up. I guess there was no beef after that.
They're friends, and they're together, and So we couldn't even do that on here. That's what we wanted, peace. We didn't want no problems, right? So, Pizza and Joe are now friends.
That's good.
That's good.
We don't want fights. We don't want fights. Everybody's good.
My mother, she used to say, all the fucking crazies are outside. They're outside, including myself, guys. I'm not fucking, they're not in the fucking crazy house. They're outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I'm beginning, as I get older, I'm beginning to see what she meant. But yeah.
Yeah. So he showed up to Manhattan, and I guess it looked like it was going to pop off for a second, and that was that. It was over. Okay. So, say it again. Roro said this should have been a smack.
I'm sorry.
Should have given one of them wrestling smacks when you stomp your foot.
That would have been great if they would have staged the
stomp your fucking leg down. You fucking smack him
like a 3-minute brawl. He throws him over the car. He comes back with a fake bottle and shit. That would have been fucking great.
Sidewalk Slam.
Yeah.
Fresh pizza. All right. So listen. So a fellow content creator hit me up on Instagram, and he's like, yo, you know anything about this? I was like, what is this? I looked at it, and then it was on Reddit. I guess this person posted on Reddit about it. So listen to this, guy. So there's this individual who calls himself, let me see. What does he call himself? Carmon Decker Bonanno. Okay. Now, I'm going to share the screen. We're going to go to Amazon, and we are going to go over who exactly this person says he is. I got a couple of things to look at. Shout out to the content curator that sent this to me. I don't know if he wants to be named, but you guys know him. He's a big channel. So let's check this out, guys. I think you're going to like this. And we have a sample of the book to read. So you guys could. So let's go to Amazon. I'm going to share my screen. All right. And let me make sure you guys can see this. Okay. So how does it look on StreamYard? All right. No, it looks all right. Okay. This book is called History of the Mafia, presented by the only son of Joseph Bonanno, the capo di tutti capi. This is the only son of Joseph Bonanno. Carmine Decker Bonanno. The history of the mafia, detailed in the mafia's monogram file with 3 chapters of commentary relating to the history of the mafia, to Mr. Carmine Decker Bonanno's personal experiences with the Black Hand. Okay. So we're going to read the sample, ladies and gentlemen, and then we're going to go to another website that's a little bizarre. This is Fugazi Wednesday. Okay, so history of the mafia, Carmine Decker Bonanno. All right. This is a sample. If you guys go to Amazon, you can read this. So let's let me read this to you guys real quick. Okay. This is quickly fun. Acknowledgements. I would like to lovingly thank and acknowledge all 3 of my families with whom this book would not be possible. My Bonanno family, Decker family, and the family that I've chosen. Okay. So blood is due. Here we go. I am Carmine Bonanno. Carmen, I guess. I guess it's Carmen. If you believe I am not, then you're wrong. Within the mafia boss, our capo, who has the force of character to administer the top echelon mafia bosses, is considered primum inter pares in the Latin language of our church. The Bonanno's position in the mafia thus translates to first among equals. The respectful phrase has been used between capos who are relatively free to administer their own criminal territory. So let me scroll down. He goes, my father, blue-eyed Giuseppe Joe Bonanno, held the job title of Capo di Tutti Capi in the mafia. As his only heir, he passed the entirety of his empire to me. With the singular act, I became the Capo di Tutti Capi in the mafia. Every legitimate and criminal enterprise which belonged to the Bonanno family now belongs to me. If you believe otherwise, then you are wrong. In all circles that matter, it is known that I, Carmine Bonanno, was appointed by my father as the Capo di Tutti Capi in the mafia. Carmine Decker Bonanno. Because of this, I have been a victim of the mafia in the United States government. Because of this, I have been brutalized and held at gunpoint plenty of times. Because of this, I have been injured both physically, in my soul, and they burned my house down. Okay, so this is going to go on. He's the only son of Joe Bonanno. If you don't believe it, obviously you're wrong. So there's another thing I want to share with you guys. So let me see what you guys think about this so far. Yeah, that alone doesn't pass. Yeah, there's only, I heard. What's going on, Tower King, my man? So there's that, Frank. What do you think so far? I got to show you something else after that.
He's from, I know he's from Castellamare del Delaware.
Castellamare, Delaware. Okay.
Delaware.
So then the content creator also sent me this. So let's look at this. So this is a public notice put out by this individual on a website, I guess seeking to recoup some sort of funds. Public notice. This is Northeast News out of Kansas City. Okay. So I'm going to read this. I don't know if you guys can see it. Maybe if you make the screen bigger, you could see it. Public notice. Reward up to 30% of assets returned to my control, currently under the control of a small group of organized criminals. So he refers to Joseph Bonanno by the name of Ray E. Olds Jr. What is that, Frank?
Ray E. Olds Jr.?
A.K.A. Joseph Bonanno.
Oh, I'm not.
Another thing this guy said, Frank, was that when Joseph Bonanno was out in Arizona, that wasn't really him. That was a body double, but we don't have to get into that. So he says, Ray E. Olds Jr., a.k.a. Joseph Bonanno, willed assets to me in the 1992-1993. Last will and testament prepared for him at the Kansas City law firm of Sugar Thompson Kilroy, now merged into the Paulsonelli law firm, who can't find my dad's Willa International Fraud. Can't find my dad's Willa International Fraud, as any law firm must retain records of all wills and DNA panels. So he is looking to recoup everything that's owed to him.
Yeah.
My dad is DNA panel placed for safekeeping, and they claim to have misplaced it. Management, Delaware. So
He's
this is
bitter.
a holding, the largest stockholder. So he says, then every evening on his way home, Henry would stop in and put the socks in his wife repaired. The largest stockholder. So this is all this money. Oh, he goes, in 1992, Dad made a $2 trillion loan to the So Joe Bonanno, listen to this. Joe Bonanno in 1992 made a $2 trillion loan to Russia, which was approved by executive order signed by President Bill Clinton. Currently, I have convinced the Russians that I am the only one who can negotiate it. Also in 1992, my dad made a $2 trillion loan to China, which was also approved by Bill Clinton during the Great Depression. All right, so I don't think I need to go on, guys. This is fucking nuts, but I like it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. What do you think, Frank?
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. I mean, fucking that people could get away with it. Shit. What's his book sell for? $37 fucking dollars.
I have no idea. Yeah, that's as big as it gets, man. I don't know. I could enhance it. I'm not sure on my side.
I want to know who buys this shit. Forget about him screwing this shit. I want to know who buys this shit. Are they you know who wrote that fucking book? Bernstein. That's his fucking ghost.
Well, look what look what Proletarian said. Carmen Bonanno Bernstein.
Yeah, Carmen Bonanno Bernstein is on the same level as this guy, believe me. And he's looking to recuperate the money that his family fucking is hiding from him, or his dad's money. Is he the one who went to rob that place in the Bronx?
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to rob a Bonanno joint.
We found the robber. Yeah, we found the robber. So Joe Bonanno in the early 90s gave $4 trillion to China and Russia, and it was approved by Bill Clinton. What do you think about that? I think I should do a story on that on my channel.
I think they're nuts. I mean, and if they're getting money for it, it's a grift, of course. Yeah, it's just fucking crazy. Shout out to Fish. I seen you out there, you fucker. He's got some name. He's funny. He's a funny motherfucker, that guy.
So that sounds like he's
Stop the baloney, huh?
Sounds like he needs to stop the baloney.
He needs to stop the baloney.
Yeah.
But let me ask you something out there. Maybe because I like a good mob book sometimes, you know. I mean, I haven't read one in a while. That's maybe because I haven't been looking. So that's to be fair to any mob books that just came out. But if there's anyone that you guys like or something, just let me know. I get bored sometimes. I don't read as much as I do. I'm stuck on these fucking computers all the time, you know. But you know, it's something I do miss. I did a lot of it in prison. I read more in prison than I can read for 2 lifetimes. And yeah, if you guys know any books, let me know.
It was published by Black Hand Press, which I imagine is this guy's own company. And it says, Mr. Carmen Decker Bonanno was the only son of the true Capo di Tutti Capi bosses of the American Mafia. Yeah, we got to get this guy on the show, maybe. I don't know.
You know, Pat's talking about Sam Giancana. I see some old footage today talking about me being stuck on his computer of fucking Robert Kennedy Jr. getting a little smart with Giancana in one of those freaking meetings, in one of those hearings.
Really?
Yeah, he said, "Why you always smirking like a little girl?"
He said that to Giancana?
Why you always smirking when? No, he says, "Why you always smirking?" He says, "Why you always smirking when I'm asking you questions?"
RFK.
Yeah, and he smirks. He goes, "You know, only little girls smirk."
Wow.
Yeah. You know, you wonder why fucking people end up in situations they do sometimes. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was warranted, but I mean,
my father was killed. My father was killed. My father. They killed my father.
Who was that? Johnny
Giancana killed my father. That's RFK Jr. Killed my father.
He thinks that's who did it?
What?
Does he think that's who did it?
No, I don't know. No, he doesn't think Sirhan. He doesn't think Sirhan did it.
Somebody send him.
Another guy that was there. I forget, but I heard him break it all down. Makes sense, but
yeah. Fuck his book. That's right. Saran, he's still in prison, right?
No, I think he got out.
He really did?
Yeah, I think he did. No?
I thought only little girl. Dominic, thank you for correcting me.
Dominic Calandra, you know what?
Coming with the correction. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's what he said. I thought only girls giggled. You know, little girls giggled. You're calling a fucking man fucking a little girl, and then you wonder why people wonder why.
No, he didn't get out. I'm sorry. I know that RFK was wanting him to get out. I guess he's got a parole hearing coming up in a year or two. Another one. I don't know.
Gaslight says something very. Yeah, I don't know why anybody would fucking want to be that motherfucker's kid for sure. Talking about Hitler.
Get pizza and Carmine banana. Yeah. Have you read Falcone's book? They're very good. Judge Falcone.
No. I would like to though. I always found that error in the Cosa Nostra, Sicilian Cosa Nostra, very interesting. Yeah, from 1980 to about 1993.
Yeah, you know, we talked about this before, I guess. Like in any genre, anything, there's always going to be people pretending. You have people pretending to be soldiers, pretending to be mobsters, pretending to be whoever they are, you know. Just sick people.
It's a sickness.
He was denied parole. He's up for parole in 2026 again. Okay. He'll probably get out. I
don't know.
He was a maid guy of the Whack Pack. Yeah, Gary the Retard and Beetlejuice of the Bosses. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. So we got
it's a weird one. It's a weird one. Yeah.
So we were talking about, we want you guys to vote though. We were talking about this.
Motherfucker.
We're talking about the top 5 mob shows, and we're not talking about mob. We're talking about ones that are narrated or put together by guys that weren't in the mob. So we want to know what you guys think of that. And I have a couple of mine. We're gonna put them down, and then if you guys like to vote on them, and if you find there's something we didn't mention, go right ahead and do so. We got Mob Facts, who's one of my favorites. It's old clips, old of everything. I mean, they've had things from my neighborhood that I thought I'd never get to see again. They're really good at what they do. Old photos, old pictures, very, very, very history-wise, something that I like. OC Shorts has always been one of my favorites. That's number 2. We got, and it's not number 2. This is not the order. This is the how do you say that? The ones that you guys could vote on. So this is not the order they're in. So before we start getting emails up to kazoo, I got Wise Guy TV, which I like a lot too. He did a piece on my old neighborhood, and I think he did a good job with that. So shout out to Wise Guy TV. Jeff Nadeau, you guys like Jeff Nadeau? He doesn't fall into the category of ex-gangster. And then the other one I got is Proctor, James Proctor. I like James Proctor, and I like him because he don't bullshit. He doesn't put himself in something. He doesn't get people agitated. He's doing what he likes. He's not bothering anybody. He doesn't fucking do that shit. I think we bother him more, right? Can we have some James Proctor, by the way?
Oh, yeah. We should have him on the show one day.
Huh?
We should have him on one day.
If he wants to come on, yeah, he's up that fucking chick's fucking.
Throw away the keys.
He's up a homegirl's ass so much, she probably gives him information on certain things, so he's not going to jeopardize that. And I don't know why, because whatever, but I don't want to get into her either. I'll just get fucking aggravated. She's another one. She should date my brother Meatball, Rice Ball, whatever.
Rice Ball. Faye Ibrahim. Hey, boys, how you doing? All good here in Italian Australia. What's going on? I watch a cook on YouTube from Australia. Vincenzo's Plate. He's from Australia. I like him a lot. He's pretty good. Italian guy. Okay. I heard in the news the other day they made names such as Jesus and Adolf illegal. No, they didn't. I mean, Adolf is pretty much self-imposed illegal at this point. I mean, I don't think anyone's naming their kid Adolf anymore.
Unless you belong to the
Jesus or Jesus. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty popular.
Right.
I don't know any Adolfs.
Unless you belong to the Aryan Nation or something like that. Fucking one of those groups, you know?
You gotta guess. Yeah.
It's
That's kind of.
Ava. It's Ava and Aldorf. You know,
It's
those kids
crazy
end up
how
changing their names when they're like
one
15.
person can fucking ruin a name, you know? Because before him, I mean, it's just a name, right? It's like whatever.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody single-handedly has ruined the name.
Oh, did he
Such
go to one of your shows? They went to my village, one of the shows in Abruzzo. He flies. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I love his channel. I like what he does. He's very
What's going
cool.
on, Faye? So
I
you
feel-
guys like any of those shows? We're gonna put it out so you can vote for them, and we're gonna have you guys be the vote, the guys that vote, and not us. Of course, we're gonna tell you who we like. And if we miss some, I'm sorry, because there's a lot of good guys that do good content. You know, historian wise, the guys that weren't in the life, and it's like sports guys that played the sports one time and now want to talk about the life. People feel that they know more, and then there's guys that go to school and they're very well rounded on everything. Like me, I only know certain things about what I know, what I've been involved in. So I don't qualify, you know. But like Howard Cosell,
Yeah.
he was not to go off subject, but he was a terrific sports guy, you know, analyst.
Yep.
I mean, he knew he could do boxing, he could do baseball, he could do football, he did it all. And so you don't necessarily have to be involved in the action to talk about it or bring it out. You got to paint the picture, you got to tell a story. How do you feel about that?
Dan Tundes. I work with a Mexican dude named Adolf. He told you he was Mexican. He was really from Argentina. What do I feel about that? Yeah, I mean, listen, that's one thing that I dislike about a lot. And I don't think you've done it, or maybe you have. I think you have a couple times, actually, to be honest with you.
Did
But
what?
the idea, but you don't think you might have said it once, twice, but there's the idea of like former associates or guys on YouTube who, I don't know, they have I don't know how to say it. Maybe some of them have like, they talk shit, or they throw like cheap shots at like people who are into the history, or like to do YouTube stuff about the history. Oh, what does he know? He wasn't there, or whatever. Like they say stuff like that a lot, but as you said, that could transcend into anything, into sports. What the fuck does Cosell know? He never slam dunked the ball. He never threw a fucking Hail Mary. What does he know? You know, like you can do that with any. You can do that with any.
I do it. You're right. I do.
Yeah, but I know you do it because you're mad at somebody for whatever.
I get perturbed.
Yeah, because you're mad. But
and
on
I'll
the
do
other
it today.
hand,
Ain't nobody gonna fucking tell me anything more about the fucking Bonanno family that's never been around the Bonanos.
right? Of course, and I know you do it because
tell me anything about anybody else.
right.
You're not gonna tell me more about fucking fucking Cologne my uncle wore.
Of course, of course.
You know, you're not gonna tell me about what the fuck, you know, shit like that.
Yeah,
I mean, but you're gonna tell me more about other shit. You know what I mean?
No, and I know you do it because if an individual pisses you off, but there's some guys that do it. They'll just be like, you know, I'm doing this. Oh, these other guys, you know, they don't know. What do they know? There's a couple of guys that do that, and it's like, listen, if you're gonna make your content, if you're a former mob guy or whatever, you need everybody in the ecosystem. You need like the journalist types, and we all feed off each other.
And
We're
I
all
agree
grow.
with that. I
we
totally
all
agree.
grow the genre together. So I never was a fan of the cheap shots, and although I haven't gotten many, probably more from the viewers than actually the actual associates or whatever.
You're very good at what you do, not because that's one of the reasons I chose you, because I needed somebody to be better than me. You know, in life, that's the problem. People want people to be better than others. And then when you're trying to do something to make it work and succeed in life, even at a leadership role, and I'm not the leader, we're both equal, you want to be around somebody who knows more than you do. And that's how things are. And I feel like, I'm going to be honest with it, when it comes to New York history, it comes to mob history, you're definitely better rounded than I am. But like, well,
Bonanno stuff and Sicilian stuff, that was always
there's not many
always a
people
big
out
weakness
there.
of mine. So that's all you. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's not many people out there that are on YouTube that are going to tell me different. Somebody just gave us $99.
Oh shit, J Tro 99. Thank you, J
Thank
Tro.
you, Jay
Wow,
Tro. I appreciate you a lot,
that's
and I'm
very nice
sorry.
of you,
I
J
see,
Tro.
like, even though I can't see that well, I seen that. What the fuck is? See what I mean? Thank you, Jay Tro.
Well, no,
Thank
it's
you.
orange. It sticks out. Thank you, J Tro. That is very nice of you. Thank you so much. Wow.
Thank you, guys. This is really good. This is thank you. I mean, it makes me feel good that people
Yeah.
appreciate, and even if you don't have it, that's fine too. Just being here, that makes up for everybody here,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's telling us that you're just here. I get a bigger eye looking at how many people are here, and if I got like 200 people, man, that's awesome, because I was always reluctant to start this show, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah. J Tro, thank you so much. That really means a lot. Anybody else wants to donate? Listen, we don't run a show where we ask you to do that. You know, it's kind of, I never liked doing that. Even on Crime Spot, I'll do it once in a while when I would do, but some people do it. That's fine. I don't judge that. Obviously, that's fine. But yeah, obviously, if anybody did, we have a Cash App, we have super chats. We really appreciate anything, and most importantly, you guys are here. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
I wish I
Thank
could
you.
do it every day. I wish I could do it every day. It takes a lot. You know, you just don't put on your computer and say, well, you know, I want to do a show. We go by it. We go a couple of days thinking of what we're going to talk about or what we're going to do, or what's, you know, and then we have our recordings that we do as well. So you just don't want to go there and just be empty. You don't want to be stale. You know, you just don't want to look at each other and go, "What's next?" You know.
Yeah.
That's how it is. God bless.
Pat Cogney saying that about the mob is different from sports only because it's supposed to be a secret society. Yeah, I guess. I mean, but you know, this is American history. That's how I look at it. It's just American history. I mean, but my knowledge is,
Well, they're different. They are different.
I'm all about crime, New York City criminal history, New York City criminal history, New York City history in general. You know, I always try to know about that, probably more so even, you know, and you know, I've always been into it. I don't know. So, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, I guess so. Howard Cosell could interview any athlete after a game without knowing anything about the contest.
Yeah. Soccer, the great Pele. I remember he did that on White the ABC Sports, Pele's final game when he was a Cosmo. I mean, this fucking guy was awesome. He could talk about anything. He could talk about crickets and make it interesting.
Yeah, he was the one that announced Lennon's death, right? That was him on football, right? That famous audio.
It was a Monday Night
A
Football
terrible
game,
tragedy has occurred.
and we
John
don't know
Lennon.
yet. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, it's Cosell, right?
Jim McKay did the Munich in 1972.
Yeah.
With the 11 Israeli athletes.
Oh, he was really.
And even up to today, we still have with people hating these people, and it's unfortunate. It's got to, you know, I mean, what the fuck? When's it gonna stop, man? It's got to stop. It's just sad. Athletes that were just going to, you know, the Olympic Games were just about one of the most saddest stories in sports. It just needs to stop with everybody. You know, I just hope there's peace in that part of the world.
Yeah.
And people could do, you know.
Brett, any experience as a tour guide? And if so, do you know what I thought about that, Gaslight? I wanted to do NYC Crime Spot tours. There is a tour guide's license in New York City. Apparently, they want you to have that license if you are going to guide tours. So I have thought about it. But do I have experience as a tour guide? No, but I would love to do them for sure. I would love to do them. Or if anyone ever wants to hit me up that they're in New York and, you know, you want to set something up, that would be cool. That would be cool. I wanted to do like a gritty, you know, they do like mob tours in New York City and it's like, I don't know what they are, but I only imagine, Frank. It's like, yeah, we're going to go to Mulberry Street. I'm going to show you the Ravenite. We're going to go to Sparks. We're going to go to this, Umberto's, you know. I'll take you, you know, I want to do so. I'll take you to Canarsie. I'll take you to fucking Paul Barrio's junkyard. I'll take you to the Gemini Lounge. We'll go to the fucking Carneglia Brothers junkyard. You know, we'll do like crazy shit like that. Like, Ozone Park, whatever murder scenes or like I want to do something like that where it's
You want to do
more
the
like
gory stuff. You want to do the gory reenactment.
well, not even the gory, but more so like the stuff that's like not like everybody knows about. You know what I'm saying? Like
We had a friend of mine when we would get either drunk, couple guys smoke a joint,
thank
hang
you,
out at
Pat.
the house, and he had a barber's chair. My friend Ray DeLeo had a barber's chair up in his house, and we would drink a cup, put down a couple of beers. Me and my friend were there, Nat and all that, and we would Joe DeLeo was there too. We would practice like famous mob fucking hits, Like we had the barbershop, like the fucking Anastasia. We did the what's the other one I did? I used to like to make my friends laugh. I still do. The Castellano with the stomach up, the McBrightney or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Famous mob murders reenacted, So
Oh
that's
yeah.
That's what you need to do. You need to get a dummy. You get
the fuck out of here.
You get to get a dummy and you go, look at it. The cigar, you could do the cigar.
Well, I want to get into the backyard over there. I told you that.
We got so many fucking simpletons out there. They'll fucking go for it. Fanboys. Oh, let's go. Oh, wow. Great show.
I'm working with a nonprofit in New Jersey preserving American Revolution battlefields, and I'm thinking of helping them set up. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool, man. That is very interesting. They have a very they have a big battlefield. I was out in Brooklyn in Greenwood Cemetery. There's a big American Revolution. You probably know which one that is, Gaslight. NYC traffic these days, you need to week to drive through. Yeah, I know. It's horrible. It's horrible. Yeah. It's horrible.
All right.
Look at Tatone's comment. Look at this fucking guy.
Show us Angel's house. She'll show you herself. She goes, this is where I live.
Tour of Little Italy. Yeah, we could set that. I mean, I could do something. I guess so. I've only done one video in Manhattan. That was the Luigi Mangione video I did, but there is some stuff to do there for sure, obviously.
Go to Stonewall.
Yeah, Stonewall, yeah.
No,
actually, that event took place this month, actually, coming up pretty soon.
Really?
Yeah, Tower King, let me know. Yeah, hell yeah. If you're going to come to New York, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Battle of Long Island, Jamaica Pass, and Queens. Oh yeah, Brooklyn Heights. That's probably next stop, the Hole. Yeah, I'm supposed to go back to the Hole. Supposed to go back there soon.
Oh, before I forget, I got a couple of emails from people asking me questions, so I want to get back to them. And some of them are not; they don't want to be whatever. But one what was the one I have? Which are the guys that can make you uncomfortable quick being around? Mob guys, like made guys that can make me uncomfortable quick that I know. A few growing up. Vinny Asaro was one of them. I spoke about that. He was just on edge all the fucking time. And we'd go see him on Tuesdays, and we'd be there, and he was just doing this. Rather, he was yelling at his fucking cook, yelling at a waitress, telling us a story, tell us how he's gonna fucking catch somebody, fucking owes him a couple of dollars, fucking, it just always something, But and you just sit there, you were like, Ronnie One Arm is up there too. Matter of fact, Jack McKenna, I got him up there too. Yeah, he's another guy, and it wasn't because the other way around. It wasn't because he was loud. He was actually very quiet, And when he talked, it always looked like he was up to something, either talking to somebody or nothing, So I didn't know him well enough. I don't think I ever actually had a conversation with him, to be honest with you. But I was around him many times, a club or a card game. He would come down. Not many, maybe 10. All right, not many. When I took, then he was a lot, Vito Guzzo.
There you go.
Always. Yeah, Vito, depended on what was going on. I believe me, I don't think I ever fell under bad terms with him, or he'd let me know. But anyway, he was another one that if he was pissed about something, he didn't. Quiet guy, not loud at all. Actions speak for him. That's who he was. Waverly, met him a couple of times, and then I ran into him in the elevator at MDC. Another guy, just quiet, doesn't say nothing, but you could tell. Am I forgetting anybody? Oh yeah, Barlow after his first bid was pretty edgy all the time. I don't,
Really?
he was a different person when he came out from the Pizza Connection case. He was like trying like to he wasn't fucking around, like nobody's around, but I ain't fucking around either. And that's what I got from him. Every time he come around, I was like, oh fuck. But that cooled down too after a while because he knew me since I was a kid. And those are the guys.
Gaslight on Greenwood Cemetery website. It says on Sunday, August 27th. I'm sorry. On August of 1776, the Battle of Brooklyn was the largest of the entire war. Was fought in August of 1776 on land where the Greenwood Cemetery now stands. That's what I was talking about. Because I went on one of those. Greenwood Cemetery is fucking awesome. For anyone in New York, even if you're visiting from out of state, go to Greenwood Cemetery. It's fucking awesome. It's about 500 acres, Frank.
Right.
It's fucking huge. You can get lost in there.
And they had a battle there.
Well, it's the Battle of Brooklyn took place there, but it's 500 acres. You got all types of crazy mausoleums, all types of. You can go onto a catacombs tour on the night tour. If you're into nerd shit, you got Albert Anastasia there. You got a bunch of famous fucking people there. But you can get lost in there all day. I highly suggest it. Might sound weird to you, going to a cemetery to some of you maybe, but really, highly suggest it.
Okay. All right. How many people we got?
126. I drive to New York City from Toronto for NYC Crime Spot walkie tour on Little Italy. Yeah, sure. I'd rather take you to somewhere else, but we can go there.
We were talking about mob neighborhoods. We talk about Queens, right?
Yeah.
But what neighborhood do you think and has the most mob presence today? Either people were in the related to people or whatever. Associates, everything, all that together. And I think I came with a borough. It's actually a borough, not a neighborhood. But I'm going to go with Staten Island. Staten Island looks like anybody who was from South Brooklyn or Canarsie or anywhere just moved up there at one time. And they're just all there now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Staten Island. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you hear a lot. Yeah, you hear that a lot. For sure.
Even the eateries and all that. It looks like Bensonhurst did like 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Not look like it, but it has that feel that because before Howard Beach, Bensonhurst was the spot. That's where you had more, and it always was, I guess. Even when John Gotti was around, you had more. I think associates and members living in Bensonhurst, Bay Ridge, Bath Avenue, Bay Parkway than anywhere in New York City. That was the mecca of fucking organized crime.
Yeah, Staten Island for sure. As far as like a borough, yeah, Staten Island, I would say for sure. But then you have particular neighborhoods, obviously Whit Stone we mentioned before, a lot of guys there. A lot of guys still in Howard Beach, I would imagine for sure.
Gravesend, that's the other one.
Gravesend, yeah.
But that whole area altogether, that you had more of a.
But it seems like a lot of guys went out to Staten Island, Jersey too. A lot of guys in Jersey.
Yeah, that's the next step they say from there. It's like, like Long Island right now. They say is pretty
yeah.
The next step. So the islands, everybody's trying to get away from the city. Gaslight asked a good question. I'll answer that.
Let me see, Dutchman. Hold on. Talk about famous mob hits. You had a lot going on in your neighborhood, Joe and Mary's, and also Troutman Street, where they tried to hit the
When I would, but that all died down around 1980, 81. Everybody moved up to like those neighborhoods I was talking about: Ridgewood, Glendale, Middle Village, Maspeth. The activity kind of spread out. Like 2 neighborhoods dissolved. Williamsburg, not so much because they kept it together. I used to go to Williamsburg and they had like a good 8 to 10 block perimeter where they didn't sell to other. They only sold to their own and kept it there for.
I still see Italian flags over in Williamsburg, certain spots. Definitely like off. I don't know.
You know,
Like
you might take that
The
the
Graham
wrong way.
Avenue areas, kind of over there, definitely.
They protected their older people better than we did in Bushwick. That's what I'm saying. I didn't say nothing. See, when you could easily move out of your neighborhood and sell to anybody and not give a fuck, you know, but you also got to protect that 80-year-old person who don't want to leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, you don't have to give them money or anything like that. Right. Graham Avenue, Bronx, John. Yeah, that's right. And you don't have to leave, but what you got to do is make sure when somebody's going to be respectful enough to not throw her down the fucking stairs or him. Okay. And they did that. So shout out to Greenpoint, Williamsburg.
Aqueduct will close in 2026. Is that right? I didn't know that.
That's what I heard.
I don't think I've ever, be honest, I don't think I've ever even been to Aqueduct. I've been to Belmont a few times.
Oh, I've been to Aqueduct so many times.
I don't think I've ever been. I grew up closer to Belmont. But I'm not a horse guy either. So
Vinny used to hang out on the second floor of the old Aqueduct. It was a dirty ass fucking place. We used to go there. Vito goes, come on, I gotta go see fuck Vito Grimaldi. I gotta go see Vinny. We goes over there. It was the biggest. You have guys betting $100 a fucking horse with holes in their sneakers.
Crazy. Actually, I've been to Resorts World casino bullshit over there. That's just right there.
I don't like the horses. You know, I just whatever. I like gambling. I'm believe me, but I never got into the horses.
How about South Florida? You know any guys that have business? Yeah, Frank's buddy over there, Jerry Chili, Frank's friend over there, had a lot of.
Yeah, I was with him.
He was with the Chili.
Listen, this is the type he was. I could go down there of course, he wouldn't know who I was, and if he thought I was making some money, he'd approach me. Hey, you're with me now. If anybody asks, he had the whole South Florida locked down. The hot dog vendor, you know, he would make.
Michael Mormile, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
I sells nickel bags.
I like fucking Johnny Sidebar's the best. He went down there, started extorting the parking lots over there. I like that. That's pretty funny. As what's his name mentioned earlier, David. He talked about him. Yeah, Belmont was close, right? They had to do them up in Saratoga. They had to do the stakes over there. I heard.
That's where it was. I didn't even have an idea. I was just watching. I seen that 2-horse come out of nowhere. I was watching it.
And I was in Saratoga last year for 4th of July. No, it's nice.
No, I was in much of it. Belmont was being rebuilt and winterized, and Asaro was there every day. Yeah, he loved the horses. God rest his soul. You know, he is what it is. But what were we just talking about?
Yeah, Saratoga was great. I was there for the first time. I spent 4th of July there last year, and you know, it's funny. We I was over there, right? And it's near Albany, you know.
Yeah, I know exactly. I was on the lam out there.
So Albany was having like the 4th of July celebration. I said, we'll go to the state capitol over there. We'll see that. I fucking drove through Albany for like 20 minutes. I said, you know what? Let's get the fuck out of here. I fucking turned around, dude. I did a boat tour over there. I got so depressed driving around there. I said, yo, let's get the fuck out of here. I went back to Saratoga. They had a great fireworks show there anyway. But yeah, Saratoga is nice. Saratoga is nice.
Albany, Troy. The Albany, Troy area. I've been in every state in the north. Every fucking state. And one way or another, they're all similar. You know how? Not all similar, but they're all similar in a way. In the winter, they suck, okay?
Yeah.
They just fucking suck.
I pulled up to fucking Albany, right? And I'm looking around the Capitol, and it's like a lot of small cities I've been to in the United States, but fucking nothing is going on there. There's literally nothing going on, right? And then I drive away from the Capitol building, whatever the fuck it is, going a little bit into the neighborhood, and the first thing I see, I go to a light, is this obese fucking lady in a wheelchair, slumped over with fucking puke just flying out of a fucking mouth all over the sidewalk. And then there's a crackhead over there. And then I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This is the Capitol? I got to get out of here. So we left. Don't go to Albany, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let them tell you it's nice. It's not nice.
And they're probably not happy with you in the Albany tourist fucking places.
Fuck them. Clean up the fucking city, you fucking politicians. How the fuck are you going to have the state capital? How are you going to have it look like
Broad Channel there? That's where you were at. You were in Broad Channel.
Yeah, I was in Broad Channel. Yeah. Rock solid. What's going on? Actually, you know what Albany is, I think? It's like they got this water that goes through it. One side sucks, and one side you got all the rich white liberals. They all live, all the white liberal rich multimillionaires. They all live over there, and then
New England.
And then they go pat the other people. They feel bad. They pretend to feel bad for them on the other side of the water. That's kind of what you got going on over there. Rock solid. Next to Italy and New York, Toronto has the largest Italian population. We are 2 hours away from New York, and I often wonder what Toronto would have been like if it was in New York. Interesting. What's up, Rock Solid? Good to see you.
Rock Solid, good to see you, my man. We miss you. We were talking about you the other day.
Larry Roller does a show on horse racing. Yeah. I've seen him a lot, actually. I've seen him a lot. Yeah.
Isn't that what Warren Beatty, every fucking horse he bet on won, according to Carly Simon?
Huh?
Carly Simon, that song. He's so vain. He's so vain.
Probably thinks about him. Yeah.
Every time you bet a horse in Saratoga, it won. Nobody ever knew who that was. Was she talking about him or James Taylor?
I don't know who she was talking about. I just know the song. I never looked into I don't know. Whole upstate New York is, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of depression up there. Yeah, should have gone to Canada. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
The Maple Leaf.
I was across the street from there a few weeks ago at a restaurant, and I forgot I wanted to take a pic in front of the place from Costco. Oh, sorry, you're talking to someone else. John, what's going on, man? Greetings, fellas. Look at the shithole LA. I'm in San Diego. We don't have riots. We're still close to the LA. Yeah.
I was there. I was there in what was that? Rodney King riots. Not the first one.
Really?
The second one was not the first one. The second one in '93 it wasn't a riot. They were getting prepared for the civil suit or the federal case rather of those 4 cops, and they were ready again. They're gonna go. Oh, here they go again. So people were ready though. So I was outside. I was maybe 40 minutes away from LA, but people were scared. They were loading up. They had their guns ready because after what happened the first time. Luckily, they got convicted on civil rights violations, and that was that. But I remember the fear these people had. They were scared.
Montreal is the only European city in North America. They want to become their own thing over there, right, David? They want to be like their own little French colony or something.
They speak French.
Yeah, I was actually hanging out with someone from Toronto this weekend when I was in the Catskills. My cousin's friend is from up there, so he came down to hang out too.
Man, I fell in love with Canada, and I wasn't even there. There was this one girl. I mean, she was hot as crap. So I'm not too far from Canada. I'm actually like 2 hours, an hour and a half from Vancouver, but this girl was from Vancouver, but I met her in New York years ago, and I never got to see her again. And they were having a Hell Angels week. So the Hells Angels were getting their girls, their family, their relatives, and the girls, I think it was Penthouse or Playboy, was doing pictures with these girls. And I'm telling you, this girl was really hot as hell. She had red hair from Vancouver, and she was like the head guy's sister. The head guy, and this guy who was a Hells Angel friend of mine, lieutenant in the Hells Angels, if that's even a thing, I don't know. But I knew him well. He was bringing her, he was the chaperone for the girl because they called him up. I go, this is my sister, watch her. So he introduced me. We were at the bar in Queens, and I was like, God, I felt like this was the most beautiful girl I ever seen in my life.
Wow.
Of course, my girlfriend, but my girlfriend, but no. I mean, she was really pretty. And
John 33 G-Fed, thank you, my man. 1999 from John. Appreciate you, my man.
I said if I ever get out of New York one day, I'm gonna live in Canada for about a couple of months, and then I meet a lot of I meet a lot of people from Canada coming down. They're really women are really pretty. Women are pretty everywhere, but I mean, they just the way they comport themselves too.
Thanks again, John. Much appreciated. What do you got? A lobster in there in your photo? You holding a little prize over there?
Oh, is that John? Thank you, John. Thank you, John.
Yeah, Frank saw that girl and he was like,
"You're the one I've been looking for."
That was him.
That's not a gun. I'm just happy to see it.
I just fucking killed my story. That fucking, you're awful, bro. What the fuck you doing, bro? I'm like over there thinking about this girl. Oh shit! She's a beautiful girl.
You're making the other ladies jealous here. You're going on, there's some
25
ladies
years
on here that that might want to date you. They want to see you. They want to rub your
Shout out
head.
to my Roro. Nobody's as beautiful as you.
I
And
agree.
if they come close, it's close, but not more. How about that?
This is something actually. Rest in peace,
Yeah.
Brian Wilson. Brian Wilson passed away today. Yeah,
He
the
did.
great
82
Brian
years
Wilson.
old.
Not the pitcher, not the former Giants pitcher, Brian Wilson. Remember him?
No. What musical genius.
Yeah.
He went through a lot of stuff, talking about mental health issues, drugs. But
Great.
one of my favorite Beach Boy albums of all time, and one of them is probably Pet Sounds. I love
Pet
that
Sounds,
album.
yeah, legendary album. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. He definitely had a lot of problems, but rest in peace, Brian Wilson. Hell of a life. Hell of a life.
For sure. I got more questions from these emails. If I don't read them out, they're gonna fuck me up.
Kojo says, I was a Hell's Angel in the tri-state area close to New York City. Common for guys in the club to escort girls like that. All right, cool.
Yeah. That's what they did. She came down. The fuck was his name? Eddie. That was his name. We used to steal cars with him with kids. He became a Hell's Angel, and we became friends for a while. I don't know whatever happened to him. He ended up sniping his brother-in-law for talking back to his sister. Fucking give him one of those, rat fucking.
Well, you could ask the other guy about that. He probably knows.
Who's that?
He knows about the biker gangs. Bernstein?
Yeah, he dated one. He dated the gay ones at the Blue Oyster. He's the one. He has the chaps with the ass sticking out.
Jesus. I'm waiting for the episode on corruption in the gay New York. Corruption in the gay New York.
Gay NYPD corruption episode.
In the gay New York. Any thoughts on Vincent Van Gogh by either? Yeah, I'm a big fan of Vincent Van Gogh. Another guy who was tortured with mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of problems. Big fan. I could talk art all day. I had a great MIC Crime Spot live stream once where it just slipped into an art history thing. I can go on about art history. I studied it a lot. I like Vincent Van Gogh a lot. Yeah. Vincent Van Gogh. I like his portraits. I like his portraits a lot, guys. They're funny to me. I like them. Like portraits of Dr. Gachet. I think he did 2 of those. The Postman portraits. I like his people. I like that when he draws people. I find them funny. You didn't know I was going to hit you with a little Dr. Gachet, did you? Huh?
Look who's here, bro. Trouble.
The potato eaters. Rob Jean 2. This ain't the real Rob Jean. $4.99 from Rob Jean 2. What's going on, buddy? Thank you for the donation, Rob Jean 2.
What's up, fellas? You hear me?
What's up, man?
What's going on, cuz?
Rob Jean, he goes back he was around a lot of dangerous guys in his life. You know that, right? And he didn't flip.
Yeah.
And he didn't flip. So shout out to Rob Jean. I like Rob.
Yeah. I was watching, and he's talked about it publicly so many times, although I won't say the guy's name, but I was watching a documentary the other day, and it was an older one, and they were talking about Angelo Ruggiero, and whenever they said Angelo Ruggiero, they would zoom in on that picture of Rob Jean's dad with the guys, and they would zoom in on him as if he was Angelo. I was like, why do they keep doing that? That's not,
Yeah, Rob's dad was God rest his soul. He was a tough fucker. Tough guy.
Alleged Hell's Angel guy who bodyguards for Drake used to be my neighbor. Is that right? Thank you, Rob Jean, too. Wow, look at that fake Rob Jean. That's fucking funny. That's funny, dude.
We got into bottling.
I've been to Arles. Oh, and saw the site of Lawless Paintings. The Yellow House of Gravely has not survived, but the amphitheater has still hosts a bullfight. Wow, that's cool. That would be cool to go to. Yeah. The only artist house I went to, Gaslight, I went to Jackson Pollock's house in East Hampton once. They let you go in there. You can go in his studio and all that. Brought to you by the Central Intelligence Agency.
There you go.
These are gay cops that lure you into a psychotic world. Diseases and meds are selling you from family that has access to the meds. Is this real? What's going on?
Who wrote that one? That other fuck?
Chris, these are gay cops that lure you in their psychotic world. Diseases and meds they're selling you from family that has access to meds. Is true? Really? Your name isn't Carmon Decker Banana, is it? I'm kidding. I never heard of that. That sounds crazy. I know that they just sentenced a bunch of guys that were like slipping pills and stuff to in the gay clubs in Manhattan. Like 3 people died. I think they just said it. I'm here, bro. I'm telling you.
Like roofing
I'm
them?
here in New York City too. I never heard of it, but I would love to know more about it. I mean, if you actually have some intel on this, you could email me, nyccrimespot@gmail.com. I'd love to learn more about it if you're serious.
Yeah, for sure.
And somebody mentioned up there the Scarpa movie. I did see that. Yeah, there Mark Wahlberg is playing Greg Scarpa in a movie.
I hope they don't fuck that up.
The thing is, it's solely centered around the Mississippi thing.
Yeah, which is fine, which is good.
Yeah,
you know who did a good piece with that? Probably Tarantino. He could have, if they're gonna make it a fucking comedy, not a comedy, but one of those crazy ass movies, give it to Tarantino.
Yeah. Walker, Frank, we were around the same age, but I don't think we ever met. Nice discussion. It's like being in one of the old bars with the stories. Thank you, Walker. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was reading some of your comments. We probably are, and yeah, man, got my email if you have anything you want to share, like good time, like not criminal. I don't want to put anybody in that situation, but let me know.
Also been to the houses of Eugene Delacroix and Claude Bonnet. You can see Monet's house if you take the scenic route down the Seine towards Normandy and the D-Day Beach. Wow, very interesting. That's awesome. That is awesome. The Al Pacino movie Cruising. Is that a gay movie? Isn't that a gay movie?
Yeah, it's like a gay cop movie or something.
Who is that 16th century artist who painted those creepy dark devil scenes? Creepy, maybe Caravaggio. With a C, I would say Caravaggio. I don't know how creepy they are. I mean, I guess he did a couple of creepy ones.
Hold on.
Caravaggio. Yeah, Caravaggio was an interesting guy. He was a criminal. He kind of lived on the fringes of society. Some people think he might have been gay because he liked to paint sometimes these really effeminate young boys that came off a certain way. Definitely hung out with the thieves, the prostitutes, but he was just like, when I was in Italy, I made it a point to like visit to go see as many of those as I can. They are fucking amazing to look at. Caravaggio, yeah, definitely an interesting guy.
Oh, John, tell John, thank you for the 1999.
Yep. We did before. Thank you, John. Appreciate you, man.
I don't know why people were calling this fucking time. That's crazy.
Yeah, Caravaggio. Yep.
Oh, fuck.
Great artist. Suggs' favorite artist. Suggs. The stand-up guy? Lavanda? I never watched that guy's show, but I know. Lavanda? I just know that.
Oh, Lavanda. Okay,
I don't even know what the fuck. I don't know much about the guy. But
Lavanda guy.
He seems like he painted a lot of beheadings. Yeah, he did the painting of John getting beheaded. Is that the story? Catherine beheads John. Is that what it is? I saw that. I saw that in person. That's in Rome. I saw that painting in person. Yeah.
John the Baptist.
The beheading of John the Baptist. There you go. Yeah, I saw that one in person. It's a wild one. Yeah.
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
I'm pretty sure it's in Rome. Yeah. That's where I saw it. Yep.
Definitely. I got more questions. You guys want to hear them? How many people
you got emails? Questions in the email?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So I said, did I know the Zumo and Moreno kid that wore wires and helped jam up Paul? No, I did. I knew the kid Enzo briefly. The kid Fabio used to bring him around. I met him a couple of times. I did not know. I did not know the Zumo, Damiano Zumo or whatever. I did not know him. But no, they were in that case where they jammed the kid up when he just had come out of jail. And the other one is, does Hootie have kids with his aunt?
Does he?
How the fuck would I know? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think you would.
No, I don't. And that was another one. And did I know Vito Love? That's the popular one.
Yeah, a lot of people like talking about him, huh?
Yeah, everybody likes talking about him. You know, so I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I knew. Yeah, of course, I knew him. Apparently he's where he wants to be. He got made. He's like a nepotism type of fucking situation without him even having he had family around people, but I guess Vito is with the Gambinos. He was around Bobby Glasses, and you hear all these people always taking shots at him. And I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna take shots at him. He was a good kid with you know, they always had everybody has their fucking flaws. You know, I don't know what's true, what's not true. If you know, when he comes out, why? That's a soft spot. And if I know the other Vito, he ain't gonna go after him. That's a soft spot. It's too easy. It's too easy. So all that dialogue that's going around, and they say he has a pizza place. Good luck. Good luck. I hope he does well. And that's that. But that's where I stand with that.
Did you see any events at Sunnyside Garden Arena?
No, I used to go to the Richard Groves in Ridgewood. Kind of like the same kind of situation.
Pat Cogney says Howie said that on our show about Hootie, and I don't know.
You gotta ask Howie. I don't remember
that. If you did,
I'll go back, Pat. I'll go back on that, but I don't know.
Walker says good time stuff. Walker says he was in a band called Q South when we performed through the 90s. I don't discuss street stuff. I let it all stay in the past. He said he was a musician. Good show. Thank you, Walker.
Yeah, I wouldn't want you to at all, but you know, talking about the neighborhood and people you sometimes might know, or high schools that we went through. I'm about that. I don't want. Yeah, what the fuck? If it's stuck up, I don't want to know about it at all. You know.
What are some goals you guys have for this podcast? Would you guys be open to doing interviews with people in and out of the genre?
Yeah, I have a couple coming up. It's just that a couple of them are not New York based, these guys. So it feels like this is a New York show, but I'll bring him on anyway, just to fill the show gaps. But I'm gonna do that. But no, I mean, I want New York guys, but I also have a couple of my Ridgewood episodes that I got left. With 3 of them I got left, and then after that, I closed shop on that for about 3 months because I'm going by seasons, by years. 1989, 1990 gets done with. And then 3 months, I go back to the drawing board and give you more content by September or October.
Yeah, I mean, the goal is just to keep growing. I mean, me personally, I would love to interview people outside mob and genre, general stuff. I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, but in New York City stuff, whether they be a criminal in another sense or, I don't know, even law enforcement, whatever. I mean, it's always interesting to get different sides, you know?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Oh, yeah. No, I have no problem with that. I have no problem bringing somebody on the other side of the law. You know, not that I'm on. I mean, law authority. You know, an ex-Fed or whatever. But yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, when Joey LaSalle. Yeah, I remember that show. Yeah.
The one with that Joey jumped on. Yeah, and you know, you get the other guy, the rice ball guy that comes on here too. I like him. Pete, what's his name? Pete. But he also attacks him too. I that's a soft spot. You know, you get no. And he's not a bad guy. I mean, I fucking listen. Yeah. You know, Vito could defend himself. I've seen him do it. I mean, but some people like to fucking get away from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people just don't want to do that. They want to be want to talk about shit. Want the easy way out. That's not what the mob is about. Believe it or not, there's a lot of violence that's always discussed, but the idea is to run like a machine without no problems. And when you have violence, there's problems. You know, easy. Hey, Frank, what did you think of Panisi video on Paul Ragusa? I didn't like it. It's just like any other one that used to come out in the 90s, right? They all fucking take shots and I just fought. That's what he did anyway. He just took that New York Times article. He took the New York Daily News article. He took a couple of things he put together. And that's what people do, I guess, when they make stories and just ran with it. He didn't know him. You know, it's just the way he did it. But he has a show. He does what he ever wants to do.
Walker says he went to St. Francis, but was from Howard Beach. What a haul. Yeah, that is a fucking haul. Jesus, dude. You came from all the way over there.
I went to Christ the King.
I went to Francis Lewis High School right down the road from St. Francis.
Francis Lewis, yep.
Howard Beach to St. Francis. Wow. Yeah, that's a bitch, man. Oof.
Yeah.
Augusta says, would you go on Joe Rogan's if he invited you? Imagine that.
Who, me? Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's a big platform.
Rob Jean says, Frank, were you locked up in Rahway prison in Jersey?
No. That's prison. When I was in Jersey, I was locked up for 9 months. I did state, but I did county state. And I did it, you know, you want to be locked up with the fucking weird? I said, nope. Put me right there in the fucking with the rest of them. I ain't locking up with no fucking pedos, none of that shit, rapos. Put me right there. If they find out I'm a rat, fuck them. But you ain't locking me up with that. And that's what I did. I got to the max in these counties. They're not like one of the places was like no nonsense, you know what I mean? But the other one was like in a rich area. So you had a lot of these fucking, you know, schmuck kids that their parents had money, but they got into dope. You could see their fucking arms and shit. You had a couple Latin kings from Jersey at that time, but then I went to one that was I was the only white guy there, and I kind of had fun. It was okay. It wasn't bad. They were cool with me. Yeah. They were cool. We played some ball, basketball.
Alex says, don't have to be New York. It's a big world. There's a lot of dudes in that life are not outside the big op. Yeah, you know what? Going back to what you said before, Alex, one of my goals from the beginning, and what I told Frank pretty much from the beginning, which is actually starting to happen. One of my goals was to grab an audience that fell outside of the realms of what you would call MobTube or whatever, was to get real New York City people from neighborhoods, people who maybe wouldn't generally comment or really consume much mob content, but they found this show because they're from New York City or they're from Ridgewood or they just like us or whatever. And that's happening, which I'm happy about. That's definitely happening. So that was a goal of mine from the beginning, to poach people from MobTube, but also open it up to the broader world of New York City and beyond, which is very cool. So that was another goal. I've never been to Boston's North End. I would like to go. It looks like a cool little spot, actually. Yeah, a nice little Italy.
Shout out to Southie up in Boston. He's another fan of our show.
You been there?
Southie. And the other kid, the plumber, he's always giving us a shout out. Great guy, fucking good people out there.
Paul Tansel, yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. What the fuck was his deal, man?
I don't know. He was a wild fucking dude, man. And then I think, what did he do? He ended up robbing what's his house? I don't know the story. If he didn't. I don't know. He ended up apparently robbing
everyone.
Bobby Luisi. Yeah, not then. I was in the North End.
Look who's back. His sister's ass.
The Prince of Park Avenue South. He says, Frank, you blowjob. Is this real?
Yeah. Who do you think? They met up over there. They gave each other hand jobs.
Oh, my God. Let's not forget what happened in Las Vegas. What happened in Vegas? It's supposed
to get mad for no fucking reason, Pete. So you fucked up. I'm always cool with you, you fucking prick.
Hold on.
Leave him on. Let him vent. Oh man. But you see, you gotta give it to him though. He showed up to New York. You see that? You gotta give it to him. He showed up. You say what you want about Peter, but he showed up. He said, come here, No, I ain't dropping Billy. Fuck no.
David Price was Matt. 2 people had a YouTube beef in Las Vegas. Yeah, I saw that. This fucking moron met up. There's the shooting in Vegas.
Yeah. Oh yeah, over the content creators. I'm just thinking about.
Just went up to him and started fucking shooting him. Then he killed his wife.
Yeah.
I mean,
Listen, man, this shit could get fucking ugly one time.
The stupidest thing is the guy. They don't even have like big channels, as far as I know. There's just like a few thousand subs or whatever. Yeah, living in their own fucking world on here, and yeah, fucking murder. Let me just do a double homicide real quick over some fucking YouTube drama. Jesus Christ, what are we doing?
And shout out to Joe. Talk about Joe. Let me abuse you, Frank. You ain't abusing shit. Get out of here.
Oh my God. Let me abuse you.
Lucky Joe. Why don't you talk to Joe like the way you're supposed to talk to? You cop the plea. Joe, I didn't do nothing. Please leave me alone. Nah. That's you know what happened, right?
What happened?
So apparently, I'm gonna skip without him going on. People were spreading rumors that he was fucking kicking the dog and shit, but that's not true. He loves that dog. You know what I mean? And and Joe's an animal lover. But then when Joe went over there, he's like, pizza. He goes, I heard you fuck with him. He goes, my dog's right here. What the fuck? And they got together.
Okay.
They're gonna be celebrating soon at the anniversary of Stonewall.
June 28th, I think.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you guys get along with Anthony Reggiano? Check your phone. See if you have a text.
Of course I get a.
I don't know. I never spoke to him. So, yeah, but he's fine with me. He's fine with me as far as I'm concerned.
Here we go. Dux goes, I have videos of him. All right, guys, I got it. I love you. I love you all, but we're not going to start this. Well, what's up, Dux? Nice to see you.
See if you have a text on your phone. See if that's really that person. Or you might have a text. You might have a text from someone else telling you that it's not that person.
Who?
I'm just asking if you do. I didn't text you.
I don't got a text at all.
Okay. All right.
No.
Anyway.
No.
You're the one I'm looking for.
Oh, here it goes. So we're talking about, the next stuff is we're gonna get onto that Bake Parkway versus Bet Amu. And little wars that went out back in the day.
Yeah, you're working on that one. Yeah.
I'm almost done with that. That's going to be a one-piece series.
That's going to be good.
I'm just going to do a 1. And those guys were fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Those guys were nuts. No, Dux, I understand, Dux. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at nobody, No, I got you. Thank you for showing up to the show, actually.
Antonio Delgado, what's up, fellas? Tony from Saginaw. What's up, Antonio? How are you, man? Your page was suggested, I guess, because my music page has Queens tags. I have no idea how it works. Good show. There you go. Awesome. See, that's a perfect example. Thank you, Walker. Perfect example. He's not over here in the mob genre. He just found our channel.
All right, so we're gonna have something on that. So I was talking to one of the Bet Amu guys, and he's helping me out too. A couple of people actually are helping me out on that one, and that's gonna be fun. And a new things we're gonna do here. We got the Mets neon over there.
You know what? Yep.
All right, so if the Mets have a better record than the Yankees, I'll keep the Met one up. If the Yankees have a better record than the Mets, I'll put the Yankee one up. But right now, the Mets about, what are they?
Yeah,
so they're 43 and 24. Their percentage is 642. So we're up by 3 games on 40, 25, and 615 on the Yankees. So it stays. Question.
when you came up with 52 topics, was it supposed to be for a single year each week?
Yes, and it was supposed to actually be where we were covering one person, but I guess we just stuck with it. But yes, Pat, definitely.
D'Augusta wants to know if you've been talking to Blood of the Wham.
No. Fucking, you can't get away. But I've been noticing he's back and he's putting up a couple 8-minute, 10-minute shorts. They're pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. So shout out to his channel. Hope he does well. But they're pretty good. They're not,
Ranger fan, what's going on, buddy? How are you? Good to see
hey,
you.
Ranger fan. He's from that Greenpoint, Williamsburg area, right?
I know he's from New York. I don't remember exactly. Yeah, is that where he's from?
Yeah, and that'd be great if we could get some guys from these neighborhoods to come up and just talk about their neighborhoods. That'd be awesome. Not about the people, not anything criminal. Just how their neighborhoods were back in the day.
Yeah, I agree.
That'd be awesome. So there's that offer, Ranger fan. If you ever want to come up, let us know.
We could have an old school mob genre show on here. We have we'll bring like 10 people on the stream.
Pinedale, whatever the fuck it is,
Yeah, we'll have one of them old Lavecchia shows. Tom, where you at?
Where are you, Tom? For fucking Piscataway.
Where are you, Tom?
Today we're gonna unpack.
Tommy, unpack. What we got here? What do you got? You got anything? We're almost there.
I think we're almost getting now. Let's give it a couple more minutes. If you guys got any more questions, I hope that Frank answered most of your questions. I think we had a pretty cool show. I told you guys about Carmon Decker Bonanno. I think that was interesting, right? You guys can go down.
I like that. That really was. There's a lot of fucking. There's a lot of them. They just get, they're kind of like the same, though. You really, all the same bullshit. You froze. Oh no, you didn't freeze.
No, I'm just very still.
God,
you guys got to check out Ciccolone Simone. Ciccolone Simone. What's that?
Ciccolone who?
Ciccolone Simone.
Well, but give us ideas. The 3 Ridgewood episodes are coming out pretty soon. I completed them.
Oh, it's an Italian content creator out in Italy. Oh, interesting. Cool. Street stuff too. All right, I'm into that. That's nice. Good shit. He catches gypsies stealing off people in the train. That's crazy.
I've seen that guy in Rome. Yeah. He calls them out.
It's Tom's leg day today. Yeah.
Ranger Fan said he's willing to come up one day to do that. So that's
all right. Cool. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll have him on. Anyone else? We'll have other people on. We'll do some shows. I mean, I do have some people that I've had on my show before. Maybe you can come over here and we can talk about stuff.
And shout out, I haven't seen him in a while, Chris Capello. If you're out there, shout out to you, Ben.
Shout out,
hope everything's good. I check out his show. If we could drop the link or something. He has like this plumbing little show he does.
Does he really?
Shorts. Yeah. Pretty interesting shit.
I didn't know that.
Smart. Yeah, he's a smart guy.
Check that out.
Yeah, so shout out to Chris,
He brings boxers and UFC type guys to confront. I missed out on a bet fucking this weekend because I'm a fucking moron. I would have won, I don't know, maybe $400 or $500. I had my Rob Dvalishvili submitting Sugar Sean in the 3rd round. I called the fight. And instead of doing the submission thing, I did the KO TKO, and I thought I fucking won. And what do you know? I fucked up. Because I'm a fucking moron.
Pizza can't help himself. But he's funny. You gotta give him that.
Frankie, I think about you every time, Leon. Jeez. We said Italian pick rice guy. Those gypsies they're all over the
place. They're horrible. Fucking
Frank, whatever happened to Stephen Maltese's son?
I don't know. Years ago, he moved out to Florida. And he opened up a gas station, and he had gotten held up and shot like 6-7 times and survived. Was a really good guy, redheaded kid, very nice, very nice.
Jeez.
Never talked, but always smoked. He liked to smoke cigarettes. But that's the last time I heard from him was had to be at least 30 years ago. 95. He left the area. Good for him. He was really close with the kid Bobby. They were always together. But
Germany is a station of yeah. Thoughts on the castle in Castellammate's harbor, Frank? Is it worth a tourist destination?
No. It's just a castle like anywhere else in Europe. I the times I've been there, I couldn't go in or look at it or whatever. It's just there, just a castle in a town.
It's Castellamare.
Yeah, I'm not one of those guys that are into landmarks. Everybody used to go to the fucking ruins, the Greek ruins, and it's a jazz there, which is not too far from there. And I was like, okay, yeah, see you later. Fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Or the Greek amphitheaters and nah.
All right. Anyway, let's see. Get a couple more questions and we'll get out of here. We're at 2 hours and 15. It's getting late. Frank, did you go to Sardinia when you were in Sicily?
No, that's far away. No. Usually when we went to Sicily, we stayed in Sicily. My family, we had a house there at the time. I don't know who has it now, what the fuck's going on, but that was look, bro. Can you take this fucking guy off now? Really? Now you offended dead people.
Who is this?
What do you think?
Oh,
I'll leave him on. Fucking leave him on. I don't give a fuck.
You're too late. Well, I put him in.
I don't give a fuck if you're fucking with me. Well, you gotta fuck with the guy for who's dead.
Santini's agent. Did you guys sign and return the contract we sent you, Frank? Santini. Santini.
What's that?
Santini's agent.
Yeah. I don't know. But that's how that
so
rolls.
soup boy over here. All right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Really appreciate everybody who was nice enough to donate tonight. You guys are the best. Thank you, everybody. Everybody commented, asked questions, came to hang out with us for a couple of hours. We really appreciate you. We're working on the rest of the Ridgewood episodes, and we got a lot of stuff to do. Obviously, Frank said before he's doing the Bay Parkway boys versus the Bath Avenue stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do that. Don't forget, we still got Dino. We got to get rid of. We got to get that one. And we're gonna keep
kind of like
going.
the same as that one though. So they're together.
What's up, Doug Ross? Yeah. Watch back, buddy. If you got time, make sure it's notarized. Yeah, we'll get it. We'll go to the public notary. Yeah. Thank you, Jack McKenna. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Thank you to our moderator, the great Roro, Pat Cogney, Matt, Gaslight, D'Augusta, Pat, Dutchman, Tower King from the Penal Colony, Antonio Delgado, David Price, Ranger Fan 11. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out tonight. Ducks. Did I forget anyone? Well, thank you, sister. Can't forget you. Can't forget sister. Thank you, sister.
And if you guys haven't, if you haven't seen the Ridgewood series, I suggest just wait till all 8 of them are out and watch it then, unless you're following it week by week.
Yeah,
but that's where we are at that. So thank you, thank you for showing up again. And
thank you, Alex, buddy. Appreciate you, Alex. Thank you so much for saying that. We'll see you on Monday. Today's Wednesday. We missed Monday. Apologize for that. I was out of town. Frank was doing what he was doing. We'll be back Monday, though, coming up for sure. Yeah. And we're going to record another episode of Ridgewood this week. So hopefully by the end of the week or maybe this weekend, we'll have that one out. I'll give you guys some notice that that's going to come out. This way you guys can join us in the stream. Walker, see you in church.
Thank you for joining us, Walker.
Thank you, Ducks. Everybody, have a good night. Check out the link.
Roro, we love you, Roro. You're the best, baby.
She dropped the link. All right, everyone, have a great night. We will see you all soon. Thank you very much.